till you bottle. Ride it on the edge. One mistake away from gravel. A glory's ledge. Push it past the limit. Don't you lift or break. If you're not dancing with disaster, you're not wide awake. Throttle till you bottle. This is how we race. In the fire of endurance, we find our place. Side by side into turn 3. Drafting down the straight like we're born to be. F1 pace with an LMP soul. Pit stop dreams, flat out goals. Overtake clean or defend like hell. DRS wide and the gap won't dwell. Discord's lit, but the track comes first. Champions are built where the tires burst. Throttle till you buy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What a time we are in for. What a time we are in for. It's great to have you along for the ride. Welcome to Throttle to Your Bottle. This is the pre-penultimate round, but it is not this track on your screens that will be revealed to you. Or is it? That is the age-old question. But to reveal you the track, ladies and gentlemen, I have alongside me, of course, the wonderful Rio Harris. Rio, first of all, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm looking forward to this race. What track will it be? Who knows? You'll find out in a minute.
Exactly. So you will.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It's great to be back. It's really sporadic, but I am very, very happy to be back indeed. So, we've got some... Well, I'm seeing what everybody else wants the track to be. We've got BCFC_James saying something absolutely heinous in the form of Skibbity Toilet Baku. I'd rather not read that again. But he clearly is thinking Baku is going to be on the menu. I'd probably hazard caution away from Baku. I don't think that's going to be our track tonight. You'll be pleased to know. What other track? Or is it, exactly? Mackie doesn't want a track. He just says, I'm pregnant. Fair enough. Each to their own. Congratulations, my friend. But, here we go. This is the real kicker. Of course, for those of you that don't know, it's a 100% race today. We are in for an absolute corker. And I'm going to quickly change my sound settings as well. Just to, you know, just to lower the tone a little. I say lower the tone. Just to put you in a false sense of security, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Hello, Jazz. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome to the Throttle to Your Bottle show. Sorry, we are getting distracted. Jazz! Yes! 52 bomber club. No, I'm kidding. We're not doing that here.
Me bomb.
Yeah. Right, we've got James saying Qatar, Baku, or Singapore. Interesting. It's either...
Casper said Mount Panorama.
Very east. Mount Pat, right, well, unfortunately, that's not going to be the track. Go to comms duo. Jakey, we love you. We love you so much. He hit me in the back in Silverstone. Sebring, no, probably not. Okay, right, you know what? Let's just cut to the chase here, because this is going to be interesting. 100% race. Malaysia, I wish, Sheehan. But this is the big fish. Where are we going tonight? Well, I have 3 clues as to where we are possibly going. Clue number 1, it is in Europe. Clue number 2, they speak a language that is not English. And clue number 3, their flag has some red in it. Now, that's all the details I can give you, but the man that will actually reveal to you all of the rapture, all of the ruckus, of course, it's Rio Harris. Rio, reveal to the people, where are we racing tonight?
The circuit that a certain Verstappen likes. We're heading for 71 laps around the Red Bull Ring, the Austrian, in the Styrian Hills, Austria, a track where you can overtake more or less anywhere. So, let's get racing.
We are in for a good race tonight. The Austrian Grand Prix, one of, well, the fastest lap in terms of overall lap time on the calendar, but it opens up a world of strategy options. Let's put it this way. Mamu says, hate this track. Great, well, that's good. I forgot Austria had red in it. Okay, let's not get political here. The point is we are off to the Red Bull Ring, the fizzy drinks ring, as some of us call it in the Formula 1 world nowadays. But the point is, Esteban Ocon's favourite race in 2023. Not wrong there. But this is going to be great. There was a very quick poll on Street Track or Purpose Built, which has now quickly ended because we've already revealed the track. Sorry. But Austria, what a track it is, honestly. Like you say, a plethora of overtaking opportunities and what will be a brilliant qualifying session because everyone is going to be so close out there.
Oh yeah, about man. I mean, Austria, you have time. I think you have time for like 4 runs because of how short it is. It takes only about probably like what 3-4 minutes to go your out lap, push lap, and in lap. Obviously, turn corners around here. We have 7 to the right, 3 to the left, and it's one of the shorter races, obviously, because of the nature of the circuit. It's the I want to say the third longest in terms of laps. I think it's just Sao Paulo, Mexico. No, well, third or fourth. But I think it's Mexico, Sao Paulo, and Monaco ahead, I believe, in terms of laps. But yeah, like you mentioned, qualifying will be an absolute blast around here.
Couldn't agree more with you. And speaking of qualifying, we're heading into it very, very soon. What are the main points where drivers can gain time round here? Obviously, being Austria, there's a minimalist amount of corners. There's not much margin you can probably find. But there are a couple of places where you can really win or lose that time. So where do you think the time is going to be won or lost the most here in qualifying?
The main place will be turn 9 and turn number 10, and mainly the part in between two corners, because obviously we've seen a lot of drivers invalidate there. In real life, they've added the gravel, haven't they, to the side of the track? But obviously in the game they haven't updated that yet. I don't think. I can't actually remember. But yeah, it's going to be mainly it's going to be basically the middle sector and the third sector. The first sector is just basically one corner, and then you obviously go into the braking zone of turn 3, which is probably the favoured overtaking spot. But it's going to be the likes of turn 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 of the 5. They're basically the second half of the lap is where you can make up all your time.
Exactly. It's that fast-flowing technical section where you don't have to slam on the anchors per se, but it is about carrying that minimum speed. You're absolutely correct. And without further ado, it's time for some short qualifying around Austria. As I see Crazy Casper saying, I know a famous artist from Austria. Behave. But what we do have is the canvas of commentary, and the track is but the place where we colour all of the action for you all watching the TTYB show today, as I've seen Jazz also say in the process, 52 blah clap pussy wagon chicken nuggets. But we're in the pit lane for some absolute rust qualifying, and it is a completely bone-dry qualifying. And that's exactly what we love to see, because that's where all the margins are going to be at their most minute.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, from our previous race winners here, from previous stats, obviously, season 3 we said last time. Someone we haven't really spoke about much of last time. Infinity Candy Floss got pole position last season, so they could also be tipped for it again. Yuri, this is not usually a happy hunting ground for him. 2 of the 3 Grand Prix we've held here have been won by Yuri. Obviously, in the sprint race in season 2, that was won by Shaonan, and then in the Grand Prix in season 2, that was won by Safso. Only one time has pole position been converted to a victory around here, and that was in the first ever Austrian Grand Prix here. That was in season 1, obviously by the name of Yuri Arendt, who, by the way, has a monumental gap to climb. Now, obviously, I don't know if you saw, Carl, he missed last race in the Silverstone reverse, so that gap, which was quite close, I think around 15, that gap's now 45.
It is a mammoth margin to try and climb. Anything can happen, of course, in TTYB. It usually does. But missing a week was so critical in the championship context, especially because Challenby won that race. Sheehan put up a good fight, it looked like. He really did. He gave it absolutely everything. Loves the Silverstone reverse track. But still, that first win in TTYB, however close he's getting, it still eludes him today.
Yeah, obviously, Challenby. I didn't realise that it was a sprint in Jeddah, so I spent about half an hour calculating what it needed for Chris to be world champion. Obviously, that's now null and void because there's a sprint in Jeddah. But if there wasn't a sprint, I can tell you that he would have, if he had finished P3 or higher, he would have had a shot. Either way, based on how it's going, I think McLaren, they can maybe wrap up the constructors today. They have a 110-point gap. I think they might need a 1-2, and they might actually clinch it.
They might well do. If all the stars align in Spielberg. At the Red Bull Ring, though, it's the Blue Blur to take us for a first flying lap. The unholy god by name, maybe by nature, as he heads through turn 1, cuts the curb, and gets it all crossed up on the traction. It's a paradox. You want to have it in a higher gear, you need to prioritise that traction all the way through. You then get to the 100-metre board, slam on the anchors, flick the car in, pray it complies, and that complied relatively well. Prioritise the exit though. That's the tricky part of turn number 3. Getting the power on, the rear wants to slide away from you. The camera of the track is against you, but it all sets you up for this bit. Brake under the Pirelli gantry, plant the car onto the curb as much as you can, carry the speed. This is that fast-flowing section rear that you were alluding to, and it all starts here at the left-hander. Oh, on the curb! Ooh. Nearly gets the half spin. Manages to hold it. It's just a valid lap. He needs to get on the board, but there's so much time to be found here.
Yeah, obviously making their way now down towards turn 9, turn number 10. I think they actually have bailed out of that first lap so far. So we saw the major moment through turn 6. They will maybe try and push on again, but there's not the optimal amount of battery levels here as they make their way down the main straight. We'll look further back. I think there's High Wire behind. It's obviously fast over. It was a 109.8. The Racing Bulls of High Wire begins their lap. It'll be Taylor who comes around the final corner in validation on their lap time. Then is it going to be the championship leader up next? It will be coming towards the start finish line. Where can Sheldon be in the McLaren go? A 1 minute 04.040 provisional pole already as the Williams comes over the line. I believe the line after beginning a lap. Then the Aston Martin as well over the line of Mackie beginning a lap. Then the Kick Sauber of Candy Floss. I'm going to believe that's beginning a lap. Everyone's beginning laps here in Spielberg so far.
Outrageous. 1 minute 4.0 already. Expect the times to be potentially low 1 minute 3s if they really, really hook it up. But that is the big question. Can they really hook it up? That's going to be the difference between pole and maybe even the second or third row on the grid. World-class margins. As RVK crosses the line, it was invalidated. Sheehan goes fastest. 1 minute 3.882. We've already breached the barricade. And the man that came ever so close to taking an inaugural win in TTYB has a score to settle in Spielberg.
Yeah, phenomenal lap from the Haas driver. He's been on pole before already this season. Looking to make it another one here in Season 4. Yuri's making their way at the end of the middle sector of the game, saying purple. Meanwhile, their teammate Taylor O'Brien coming round the final corner of the racetrack. Keep it within the white lines. Maybe actually backing out to begin yet another lap. Then it'll be the Williams coming over the line of Mindmaster. I think actually did this in next lap in validation. Well, that Candy Floss, last season's pole sitter, onto the front row provisionally, just around the 10th and a half away from the fastest time we have seen so far. What about James in the Haas? It makes it a Haas 1.5. Then it'll be the McLaren over the line. Maybe Chris going for yet another lap, which it is. The championship leader actually got a distant next in validation, Carl. So they're basically wasting their time now.
They are indeed. You're absolutely correct. It's kind of weird, though, in qualifying. Sometimes you find the rhythm, you fuel the car up more. The old tyres seem to just hold on as much as they need to. Highwire's done a good lap, by the way. 1 minute 4.965. That's not a bad banker whatsoever. So great effort from the Visa Cash App contactless Tudor Watch RB car as they peel into the pit lane. Current pole sitter Sheehan also in the pit lane. A 3.8. That is a good benchmark, especially around Austria. To have a 1/10 of a second worth of a gap so early on, that's exactly what he needs. Yuri is not going to be able to breach that, though. He has invalidated his lap already, and that was what he can ill afford to do if he really wants to chase down the championship. Yes, it looks a million miles away, but you need to have the perfect start, and that's not it currently.
Yeah, obviously he needs a perfect end to the season to even have a shot at championship glory. Here does Yuri, who one of the former championship leaders this season. Obviously, it's been the tale of Shallenby v Yuri throughout the course of Season 4. As Katie, Shallenby's teammate, comes towards the line. Where can the Papaya McLaren go? Goes 4th fastest, does the McLaren, making it a McLaren 3-4, as then Tanidran splits the two Papaya cars, making it Red Bull into the top 4. Then where can Duty go as well? He's making his way through turn number 7 and turn number 8, not pushing on, as Arthur Way into the top 4. Yeah, obviously a decent lap there for Yuri. Had faced the unfortunate events of invalidating their time, and now up into the top 5, 46 milliseconds away from his rival for the title. Shannonby still out on track, I believe, on those same set of tyres. So maybe do the practice race still. Obviously, we have 71 laps to come around, so I wouldn't have to do a bit of practice here in the Red Bull Ring. As Duty has got traffic at the Alpine right ahead as we go through turn number 10, and Duty understeers out wide. Luckily keeps the lap. Where can Duty and the Red Bull go over the line? Still into the top 7, Carl, and despite being impeded from that Alpine, very decent effort. I mean, I personally, I like delivery, but we can all have our own opinions. I think Sheehan's actually pushing on yet another lap. The game says purples are definitely improving in their first sectors. They make their way down towards turn number 4. The Haas car will flick it through turn 4. They'll pick up dirty air from the Ferrari ahead. Out for I will be Taylor O'Brien. The Kick Sauber gets out of the way. The sole Kick Sauber, Candy Floss, who's currently sat on the front row. Through turn 6 we fly. Then towards the end of the middle sector. Up by a 1/10.5 already. Can it be an extended margin ahead of the rest? It's currently a 1/10.5. Looking to make that 3/10 though as they make their way towards turn 9. And turn number 10 does the Haas driver, the flying Welshman, will want to have more Welsh wonders here in Austria. Had the win strict in Silverstone, but will want to get reprimand once again. And it's once again a monumental time from the Welshman. A 1:03.646, and that's already a major margin ahead of the rest. Yeah, through turn 9 and turn number 10, the Kick Sauber will fly around turn 10 towards the line with the Kick Sauber crossing the line. Will it be an improvement? It will be a 2.5 improvement to get themselves within exactly 1/10 of a second of the optimal goal of being on pole position for the Austrian Grand Prix, looking to make it back-to-back poles at the Red Bull Ring, putting themselves in a decent position to do it, as Sheldon be the championship leader, is 500ths up at the end of the first sector. Split yellow flags are out because the other McLaren has actually spun around on the exit of turn 1. Through turn 6 with Sheldon B, though, as the Alpine came over the line, or I think it was the Alpine, no, Mercedes, sorry, I think it was Fortis, goes up into 7th. Sheldon B invalidates their time on the exit of turn 7 into 8. Yeah, making their way towards the final corners of the racetrack is the Red Bull of Duty. Almost 4/10 up as they make their way through turn 9 towards turn 10. Towards the line he goes, and Aston Martin ahead as well. That is where they go crossing the line to begin a lap, and Duty into the top 7 then. Split into 2 Mercedes, and Cole, you'll be happy. It's no longer the mean position for the Mercedes.
You cannot rinse Infinity. That is a real shame. But there we go. I've won, says Infinity. Casper saying, just done a Bottas. My mic apparently cut out on stream. I do apologise. But I am now back, which is good news. Is Yuri improving? No. His track map is the same colour as his car. And that's not ideal. And, well, first time chatter, yes, you are allowed to. No problem at all. Into the pits comes Yuri Arens, the Flying Dutchman. He'll peel in to just regain and recuperate. Luckily, the great thing about Austria is he has 4.5 minutes to just, well, get relaxed, get into the groove again. Such a short lap time around the Austrian Grand Prix track, and that is wonderful news indeed. Meanwhile, Firth Warfare, that is an interesting name. Gains, oh, for God's, why have you gained that many milliseconds? Stop it. He gained somewhere over 66 milliseconds, for those of you curious. The point is, he's still in P16, and the green machine has plenty of improvement to find. Katie also trying to find improvements, but it's all a bit dormant at the moment. Those final flurries will be coming up shortly.
Yeah, obviously, Katie currently sat 11th for the McLaren crew. Obviously, not too bad. McLaren currently sat 3rd and 11th. The favourite, obviously, for the constructors, in their points lead, is over 100. By the way, 3 minutes 37 to go. We currently got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars out on track. Arthur, once again, by the way, has disconnected from the session, so he's having some major connection issues. Is the Alpine currently sat in the top 4 with the same, with an absolutely identical lap time to the championship leader. Speaking of Arthur, he's coming out of the pit lane here. So, I'm not sure if he disconnected or not. Oh, there you go. It's lagged him back into the pits.
Love it. Fantastic stuff. Immaculate rage bait from our overlords at EA. Tanadran also on an outlap, ladies and gentlemen. That is good news, as I'm quickly updating Discord, because we are having some connection issues, unbelievably. Of course we are. Absolute shocker that we are having, because apparently the audio is lag McGee. Highwire was on a lap, though, and was improving. I will double-check that quickly, just to verify whether he has genuinely improved, and through went Highwire across the line. He moved up to P11, in fact. A 10.5's worth of improvement. Not too shabby at all. But now here come the leaders. The final flurry is well on its way.
A little bit wider than you would want on the apex. Now making your way down towards the flat kink of turn 2 before the heavy braking at turn 3. Burning the battery down to 54. 4 milliseconds up on their personal best. Rotate it through 3. Apply the throttle instantly. Then up through the gears. Burning the battery once again. Making their way down towards turn number 4. You want to have some battery though for the rest of the lap as we hit the brakes around the 100-meter board. Get the car rotated in quite smoothly. Front right lockup. That won't do you stopping any good. As then we make their way flat through 5 towards turn number 6. The championship leader looking to prevail here in the Red Bull Ring to put himself in a prime position for when we head to Qatar next week to try and be the world champion of season 4. 2 tenths to the good, looking to try and disrod Sheehan. These two came together on the final lap last week in Silverstone as through turn 9 towards turn 10 and towards the line we go. Is it going to be British brilliance in the Red Bull Ring over the line? It's not even a front row for the championship leader. It is P3 on the grid at best.
And Mindmaster's moved up to P6. That's the rate of improvement we are seeing on the track. And we've still got so much time. Sheehan, Infinity, and a smattering of others still only on their outlap. We've got so much time to kill in the process of the final flurries of qualifying. Tanadran through the final corner. He's going to complete his final flying lap. 1 minute 4.450. He is next door neighbours with his teammate for the time being. But so many times are going to fall. Double G. Well, I tell you what, that's a return on investment. What isn't is the fact he was 5 seconds down in his time and P11. That's the end of that. James is a 10.5 up in the Cherry Blossom Haas. Looking to sprout a surprise on the rest of the grid. Sits in P12 at the moment, but the leaders have crossed the line. Infinity is the first one down the road in P2. He's already a 10th up on his time, Rio. This is it.
This is the lap that Candy Floss needs to try and take back-to-back poles at the Red Bull Ring. towards turn 6 and turn number 7. The Alpine in 4th as well, by the way, with a 10th up at the end of the first sector. It's all to play for here in the Red Bull Ring. Attempt to the good, lost a little bit of time. If it was to be level pegging, finishing the 10th exactly, there would be level pegging on the time. When the checkered flag is waving, 3 seconds to go until the checkered flag does wave. Through turn 9 and turn number 10, for the final time here in qualifying. Is it going to be provisional for the Kick Sauber to the line? Yes, it is, with a lovely 103.4. What about Arthur, though, in the Alpine? Could only go third, and it's over to Sheehan. Can the Welsh driver make it Welsh wonders? No, they can't. It's provisional for Candy Floss, unless Yuri, the man chasing the championship glory, can take it away round the final corner towards the line with Yuri to the front row.
That's a sensational stanza to qualifying. What a cutthroat conclusion, and once again the qualifying king, it's Infinity. Infinity Candyfloss does it again. The sweet sensations of pole position belong to the Sauber team in Spielberg. A fantastic end to the lap. He cut the final corner as much as he could without attracting the ire of the stewards, and boy did it pay off. What a stanza to qualifying. What a sensational effort. Yuri also pushing the limits all the way through in the Ferrari. The championship leader. Duty goes to P5. Chowdenby will start P6. What an ending to qualifying, and what a race we have on our hands tonight.
Yeah, Candy Floss on provisional pole. The British driver ahead of the Flying Dutch. And around Austria, Carl, a 1/10 gap is monumental. Because Austria, how short the circuit is, you normally see times within the 100th and milliseconds of each other. But nonetheless, it's just over a 10th of a second for Candy Floss. Yuri, he'll be delighted that he has got Sheehan, Arthur and Duty in between himself and his rival for the title, Shallonby. The two Mercedes as well. I swear they're always qualifying together as well.
Fortis is happy it's Herbie, I think. Let's put it that way. But Katie's in P10, which is great news. Tanadran in P11, James in 12, Double G, and then answers on a postcard. You can't write it. We are soon off to the races, though, and it's back to our wonderful faces. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Rio, wow, that was a hell of a qualifying, wasn't it? Ridiculous. What an ending, particularly for Infinity, particularly for Yuri as well. Amazing gains right at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Candyfloss taking their second pole in succession here at the Red Bull Ring. Obviously, will it be a first win in the Red Bull Ring for Candyfloss, or will it be a second win in a row in the Red Bull Ring for Yuri Ahrens? I'll tell you someone who does need this win, though. Yuri Ahrens, because of the monumental gap. Obviously, 100% race. Every tyre, I would say, is valuable now. The softs, the hard, mediums, and the hards. They're all a valuable tyre here now, because it's a 100% race.
Oh, I couldn't agree more with you. And because it's a 100% race, of course, 50% race around Austria is pretty interesting. You have basically the 2-stop versus the 1-stop. Usually, the 2-stop is the one that wins out between the hardest compounds, of course. In a 100% race, I don't really have, I'll confess, I don't really have much knowledge on Austria around 100%. So does it follow that same stanza? Does it have that difference between the 1-stop and the 2-stop? Or will it be smooth sailing for drivers today? Do they not have much brain power to use?
As someone whose career modes are always 100% races, they have the major leeway. It will be the 1-stop against the 2-stop. I still think the 2-stop will be the preferred strategy. As actually, Carl, go take it away.
I shall. 5 red lights around the Red Bull Ring. Sauber on the right, Ferrari on the left. Lights out, and away we go. Fantastic start. Goodness me, there's a crash already. Fortis has gone round, and the other Mercedes, I assume there's absolute anarchy. Chowdenby's already out. I assume we're doing a lobby restart because that is absolutely ridiculous. Oh my goodness me, what a crash from the Ferrari of, I think that's, is that Yuri that's gone? Yes, Yuri with a barrel roll and a half. Star Fox 64S, double tap the R button for that one. RVK into the wall, oh, it's disgusting. It is an absolutely disgusting sight. You hate to see it. Williams leads. Double G in P1. The unholy god is in P2. You weren't that holy, mate. You're still P2. Suck it. Arthur Way in P3. Never mind. God's taken the lead. We haven't killed him. 7 cars left. And this is, well, quite frankly, the worst race I've ever seen in my life.
It's a bit like Japan. I think it was I can't compete for what year it was, but it was like Japan with Senna and Prost. It's happened immediately. A collision already. 2 cars remaining, and Mindmaster's stuck in the gravel. No, it is just unholy God now. Please hurry up and retire.
There you go. He only had the end of that sector to retire, because otherwise he would have been in a world of trouble. And that wouldn't have been ideal. But finally, everyone is retired, and we'll see what the podium is. It's just a lobby reset, ladies and gentlemen. Do not worry about it. And, well, Yuri's saying I barrel rolled. Absolutely, you did. And that was a commendable effort, my friend. More than a commendable effort. I appreciate the acrobatics. The Alpines won. Stop the count. If it ends like this, it'll be the great... In fact, it's an Alpine 1-3. Just stop the race already. My goodness me. Oh, it's because someone readied up. Right, which one of you has done... We'll be Judge, Judy, and Executioner in a minute. Jamaican slang. Unholy God, man. He win the Spielberg race. Mein Master Attaway. P2 and P3. What a race.
Absolutely. Alpine double podium. I haven't seen that since, what was it, Brazil 2024? So, actually, not that long. Gee, I can't speak English today. Not that long ago, wasn't it? Alpine 1 and 3. Stop the count. Williams on the podium as well. I did not know this will be reset, so I was kind of bamboozled when I saw Sheldon be a DNF from the race.
So was I, honestly. But we're going to go back to our faces. And hello, just to be quite clear, I'm not biased. So, back to the action, ladies and gentlemen. We have Infinity on pole position. Yuri joins him on the front row. Championship leader starts P6. And that's where it gets interesting, because the DRS train around Austria is so incredibly powerful. I mean, it will come to a difference of strategy, but even a 1-lap offset of tyres can really hurt you round this track in comparison to the rest of the field. So, how do you play this if you're Chaldenby? Surely, if you don't get up early doors, you have to have that undercut. That's the big conundrum that he's got to face.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously P6, it's not the worst place to be around Austria because of the fact that Austria is an easy place to overtake in this game because of the dirty air. It's hard to follow, but then it's also easy to stay with because there's not a lot of place you can use time. But because of the short pit lane, that's what makes the two-stop variable. Will we see a different strategy between Sheldon and Yuri? I would suspect so, yes. Mainly because of the fact that Yuri does not. I would say Yuri would have to ensure that he plays safe to ensure he outscores Sheldon B. Obviously, there's 71 laps. Who knows what could happen whatsoever? It could be absolute chaos. We could see a repeat of the false start when Sheldon B DNF'd on the lights out. It could be chaos aplenty.
It could be. And it's TTYB. Let there be carnage, quite frankly. I'm all for it. It's quite poetic, actually, the Austrian Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. I think I had to be here in many ways, because my first ever commentary for TTYB, conveniently, Season 2, at the Austrian Grand Prix. So, it's a bit of a fairy tale today. It's good to be back. But, here's a big question in the prediction corner, and that is, who do we think, 71 laps, long old race, but who do we think is going to win today?
I'm going to go for someone who I don't think I've actually ever seen before. I'm going to say Arthur's going to take the win for the Alpine team. Or for the, I think it's for the Snekev team. I think that's actually what it's called here in TTYB. Because I've seen all the standings. Alpine's not called Alpine. It's called Snekev. So, yeah, but I think it'll be Arthur today. He really impressed me in qualifying. I think he will have good race pace as well. Because, I mean, like all drivers stand by, qualifying one that pace is one thing, but then race pace is another. I think Arthur's got the both of them.
Do you know what? It's not a bad shout, to be fair. Arthur Way, watch this space. It'd be good to see another winner as well. We've had, I mean, there's only been, I think, 4 winners this season, hasn't there? There's been Chaldenby, there's been Yuri, Snek had a win in the F2 cars, and then there's me. That's the only 4 winners we've had all season. So, variety, good spice of life. I'll say Infinity. I think Infinity's got some good pace. He's just keep on top of it, just keep his head on the straight and narrow, and he can do some great things out there, I think.
Yeah, without a doubt, it'd be really nice to see Candy Floss get a win. I can't remember the last time we saw Candy Floss win, if they have won before. I don't know the full history here in TTYB. I know that they've obviously got some sprint wins. I don't know about Grand Prix wins though, but nonetheless, it should be an absolutely thrilling victory. I'm gonna throw a questionable question here, Carl. Who do you think will be the first DNF?
Oh, well. As a respectable commentator, I of course would not name names in the conversation of who would DNF first, because I feel like it's repressive. It's against the spirit of the league. Sheehan, Rio, who do you think's gonna who do you think's gonna DNF?
I'm not so. Oh God. I shouldn't have asked the question because now I have the pressure for myself. I'll agree with you.
Sorry, Sheehan, just to be quite clear. I hope you don't DNF first. It's just that I think I seem to be a curse on you, so I'm so sorry.
It'll be a reverse. It'll be a reverse curse. You'll curse him to not DNF now.
Exactly. See, watch this space. James saying we need constructors' points. Well, if I've cursed Sheehan to DNF, I'm sorry. As Cardin Hong's here, hello. How are we doing? I'm a bit late. We are good. Infinity's on pole. Don't scratch your eyes. It has actually happened. Infinity's on pole position again, which is great news for him. But if he keeps that track position, could also be interesting. It's very difficult to keep track position, though. Obviously, you have the double DRS zone. But you can't, it's a weird paradox of F1 25 and the Austrian Grand Prix. If you fight too much, you invite other people into the battle, you invite them into the DRS train, and then you just put more subconscious pressure on yourself. So, race leaders, they have to play this quite strategically in terms of when to pick their battles and when to just let it go and just race.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it will be, I think the one stop will be preferred. Do I? Yeah, I'll stay with my. I reckon the one stop will be preferred here. I reckon the one stop will be quicker nonetheless. I think if you're at the back, if you're like at the back starting towards the rear of the field, I think Beaksy wasn't meant to be racing today. Hold on a minute. Beaksy's appeared out of nowhere.
He's arrived. So yeah,
I think I think obviously the people like Beaksy. I don't actually know who else is at the back there. I don't know if Unholy God's at the rear, but people who are like towards say 15th or lower, they might. I think they'll start on the softs, just try and make the positions early up. And if there's an early safety car, they have all the good tyres still to play.
I couldn't agree more with you. Absolutely right. And they're probably gonna want to prefer, I would assume, prefer the harder compounds as much as it will be a one-stop race. Most part that is the fastest strategy. I think the harder compounds will still lend themselves a bit better if they do choose to go for that two-stop. You want the longevity. You want the ability to have confidence in the car. So surely that is the strategy that they go for as we are readying up. So just saying, they better choose that.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, obviously the mediums, they can still be played here, but I think it only takes around 15, 20 laps for the mediums to say, they kind of want to change tyres. Obviously the hard tyres, like we all know, as sim racers, the hard tyres are OP nonetheless. Although they have been nerfed a bit since F1 24, the hards are still very OP.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more with you. We are loading into race day, ladies and gentlemen, at the Austrian Grand Prix. And for those of you that are watching along with the action, first of all, hello. Second of all, if you're not following, what are you doing? Hit the follow button. And then thirdly, write down who you think is going to win this race. We've got Infinity on pole position, Championship Chaser, Yuri in P2, Championship Leader, Chowdenby, is in P6, but we know his consistency is absolutely cutthroat. So any of the top 6 are not a bad shout out there today. Or you can go really bold and go crazy Casper for a P13 to P1 masterclass. Just saying, it could happen. We are at the cloudy Styrian Hills. As me and Rio have been fighting some Discord demons. Well, not anymore, because we are well and truly back on the connection front. Raucous celebrations, but we can now reveal some tyres out there. It will be a toss-up between the hards and the mediums, unless you're a complete mentalist. But they'll want the longevity. They'll want to go as long as possible. Just develop a rhythm. That's the key in the 100% race.
Oh yeah, without doubt. I mean, I would... if people... think what I got with sim racing, right? You know how you have the balance and the harder... allocation. I think if you go for the harder allocation, so you have 2 hards, you start on the hards. If you go for balance, you start on the mediums, just so you have still that same tyre available later for the race. I think Sheldonby, I'm gonna guess he will probably start on the mediums to try and make up the positions. Yuri will go safe on the hards, if I had to guess whatsoever. I'm surprised if I don't see anyone within the bottom 8 start on the softs, because obviously the softs are the best tyre for race starts. Obviously, they offer the most grip, but they're also the tyre that overheats the most and the tyre that wears out the most.
Well, I'll tell you now, Arthur Way is currently on soft compound tyres. I don't know what strategy Blood is cooking, but there's some ratatouille stuff going on, I'll be honest with you. Arthur Way being, frankly, possessed into I'd argue a compromise strategy, but we'll ignore that. He might well have pulled the blinder. Same for James, but he starts P12, no real surprise there. But then you've got loads of people at the back of the field on the mediums, and no real surprise again that the front guys are going for the harder compound tyres. Main things to watch out for. is as Infinity starts on the mediums, Yuri Sheehan on the hards. Arthur's got a great chance here of putting himself in that conversation for the race lead. He's just got to get that good start. 2 compounds softer. If he gets in between, that could really spice things up.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, obviously. Expect to see an Alpine absolutely flying off the start. Oh, and he's gone to the medium tyres. You scared them off the softs.
The commentator's curse strikes again. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it might just be James on the soft compound tyre. Never mind, he switched to mediums as well, you swine. Why would you do that? Well, no one's starting on the softs, in fact. Latat quite rightly says he will cook his tyres. Well, he would have done. You're quite right there. However, they have moved. They've seen sense. And they're now on those medium tyres. Still, though, a compound softer, a chance to get into the mix. Infinity will be on the right-hand side of your picture on the mediums. Yuri will be on the left-hand side on the hard compound tyres. It's a game of track position. It's a game of DRS trains. And we are really... This is why sense isn't fun. You're quite right, Latat. But Paddock Club, absolutely loving it. They know they're in for a sensational spectacle tonight.
Oh, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Austria is just known for its consistent overtaking. And, Carl, I have a question for you before we get going, which it shouldn't be too long.
Ooh.
When do you reckon we'll see the first change of lead?
That's a good question. Honestly, as early as the first lap, to be honest. If Arthur gets a good start, he's got a chance of challenging Infinity. I think Yuri's consistency and race pace, Sheehan's hungry out there for a race win. I think they've got a great chance of snatching away the lead as well. Most likely to be lap 2 or 3, I'd say, once everyone's developed the rhythm, got into the DRS train. Then we'll see the lead swap hands. Then we'll see the tactics on display. That's what I think anyway, but we shall soon see. What do you think?
I reckon we'll see it right on the race start, personally.
Oh, I like it. Immediately from the chocks. The Niki Lauda curve is where the drivers will traverse their way to first. The incline up, the braking zone, chop as much of the curb as they need to. As Pat Mike says, watch out for Tanadran, lap 1, turn 3. We will be there. 5 red lights in the Styrian Hills. The symphony of V6 sound, it's lights out, and away we go. Yuri's moved to the medium tyres, and that could really help him. He holds it alongside Infinity, but he will hold the lead. The green machine remains in P1. Arthur's done exactly what he needed to do, though. He's up to P3, already overtaking Sheehan, and now it's the drag race towards turn number 3. But, meanwhile, battles behind. Herbie looking for moves around the outside of the Williams. Massive front wing damage and contact for Fortis. Cars scrambling all over the place as they try and make their way through as clean as they possibly can. No such conundrums and chaos for the front view. Infinity leads. Yuri in second. Arthur Way overthrows Sheehan for P3. The Haas down to P4. 5th for Duty. 6th for Chowdenby. They're all swapping around behind though. James up to P11. And Katie is getting in the mix as well.
Yeah, the two Mercedes at turn 3 came together, locking tyres as around the outside. Katie goes in battle with Taylor. Ferrari v McLaren. This is for constructors' points here, which can be decided today. Making our way down towards turn 9 and turn number 10. And Katie does back out of it and doesn't go for the move on the Ferrari. Heading on to lap 2 of 71 then. Candy Floss leads from Yuri Aarons. Yuri Aarons is going slowly, Carl.
Yuri's going slowly. What on earth? So he's round. Yuri's round on the start-finish straight. What on earth's happened here? I assume there's been massive technical problems. He was stuck in 7th gear. And all of a sudden, the championship chaser in a world of trouble. Arthur Way moves to P2. Sheehan up to P3. And the situation with the tyres is as such. He's the only one of the top 3 on the hard compound tyres, and it could cost him. Duty looking to show the nose down the inside. Marvellous manoeuvres to be made. It's side by side that they run towards the double left-hander. Will Sheehan back out of it, or will Duty know what score to settle and sweep around? The answer is no, he will not. He knows that the aim of the game is to not lose too much time. They need to be in that DRS. Sheehan will just about hold on, but drama already for our Flying Dutchman, who sees himself plumb last in this race.
Nowhere near what he was starting. He set the fastest middle sector as Yuri, as Arthur set the fastest lap in this race as we head through turn number 1 for the 3rd time in this Grand Prix, making our way down towards turn number 3 once again, and Arthur will be gaining all the while, but once again will not be close enough. The top 6 currently sat within DRS of one another. Katie's coming to pit lane for a front wing change. There's half a front wing missing on that McLaren as we head through the third corner of the circuit, side by side between Double G and the Mercedes of Fortis, who is currently, I believe, wounded with some front wing damage. I think both Mercedes might actually be wounded with front wing damage, which they are. So the Silver Arrows, their contact's not helped them as they go through turn 4, 5, and 6. For the third time in this Grand Prix, the top 8 are now within DRS of one another, and they all stay line astern.
Saw Crazy Casper almost commit a crazy dive bomb. A crazy kamikaze move. In fact, another yellow flag. It's Highwire this time that has met the gravel. Yuri's gained a position as a result. That's 2 places already for the Ferrari driver. I can't see damage on Highwire's car. He's taking it very gingerly, though. Yes, damage on the left-hand side. Not ideal whatsoever, as Infinity keeps the lead for another lap. Way past our predictions. He's managed to hold it for 3 whole laps. Arthur with no real answer at the moment. Battery nice and high, though. Penalties raining in. The unholy god on the 4th day was given a 3-second time penalty, and Beaksy was also bestowed with such a blessing in the Kick Sauber car. One languishing, the other one lofty, as Herbie moves on through. Past Tanidran with the help of DRS. The Mercedes up to P7. Mindmaster, though, I am impressed. Holding on to the DRS as we have another massive battle going on into turn 3. This is all-out action already, everywhere in the field.
Yeah, without a doubt. Obviously, drivers want in position. The side by side between James and Fortis. Mercedes v Haas as they make their way towards turn 5 and turn 6, and Fortis back out of it with that front wing damage. And Arthur Way currently still stuck behind the rear of the Kick Sauber, who is doing really, really well for the battery. But Carl, something I've noticed on the telemetry as Candy goes wide and probably picks up a track limit warning there. Candy Floss, I believe, has gone under fuel.
Interesting. Perhaps banking on that safety car, but also being in that DRS train. Really, he doesn't want to be at the front at all. Languish in behind, save the tyres, save the fuel, and then go from there. As the unholy god, me man, is into the pit lane. I presume for an impromptu front wing change, and Kel a surprise. It absolutely is, because his end plate has all of the downforce of an antelope. Back to the front of the field, though. Arthur closing in all the while. The closest he's been so far, but again, no real impetus to burn the battery. Infinity can start saving. Duty, meanwhile, is lost touch with the top 3. Sheehan's Hards are starting to gather momentum. Duty just losing a bit of confidence and composure, and championship leader Chowdenby is going to be all over him through the double left-hander. Only 5 laps of the way through this race. Yuri's already up to P16. Around the outside, takes 2 to tango, and that was a delightful song and dance. P16 now for the Ferrari. The road to recovery is well and truly on.
Yeah, Yuri making those moves, trying to get back up towards the front of the field as this battle for the lead is getting oh so close as we make our way through turn 1 on lap number 6 of 71. Still an absolute marathon to go. A little bit of a moment there for Candy Floss as we now make our way down towards turn number 3. And Arthur, they might be running a bit higher downforce. It's further behind Mackie and Fortis ran wheel to wheel. Momentarily cutting the curb went Mackie there. The Aston Martin roaring through. Not a lot of battery left on the Aston Martin now as they make their way towards turn number 6. The leaders really wide for Highwire, sorry. Watching Highwire went off the circuit, and just the Racing Bulls has done an absolutely torrential time. Yellow flags for the Racing Bulls, and now as Candy Floss continues to lead, Carl, they're getting oh so close.
And Yuri's moved another place up. Firth Ware Fair. Well, I tell you what, in the art of warfare, Arends has all the artillery. A 10-second time penalty for the unholy dog, as his tail is hanging firmly between his legs. Yuri, though, you can see, look at the momentum he gained. He's all over the back of RVK into the double left-hander of Remus and then Schlossgold for the 6th time out of 71 this race. Arthur Way piling on the pressure on the race leader all the way through. But all the while, just wants to stick in that DRS, save the fuel. He'll have the advantage later on, but he just edges ever closer. Cuts the curb. Mackie with a 3-second time penalty. No real surprise with the amount of choppage there was on the curbs. DRS towards turn number 3. You want to stay behind. Infinity already saving the battery. Arthur slam on the anchors. Try and get the optimal rotation. This is the closest he's been. Surely this could be the opportunity he's looking for.
Yeah, towards turn number 3, they go wheel to wheel. Randy outside, the Alpine will try it. Banging wheels, apply the power. Randy outside, it will be the inside. For turn number 6, they remain side by side. Into turn 6, to the lead of the Grand Prix. Goes Arthur in the Alpine. It is our first change of lead. From 4th on the grid to the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Sheehan having front row seats. Duty's restored himself in the lead for the DRS train. But Arthur leads from Candy Floss.
Class move, class racing from the pair of them, Arthur and Infinity. Fantastic stuff. Sheehan just there with a bucket of popcorn. Duty and Chaldenby, of course, re-inherit the DRS. Mindmaster will have to work a little bit harder for it. Battles up and down. Yuri's got past RVK as well. The red mist descends for the red Ferrari, and he is on a mission. After the technical gremlins of lap number 1, he is on fire out there. Last lap of 1 minute 8.3. Compare that to the race leaders, no idea. Couldn't tell you. But it's probably very similar. Duty and Chaldenby having a little scrap out there. The McLaren Maestro is done. Waiting for that potential move to happen. He has to manufacture it himself. Can't make it happen though. He's looking to pile the pressure on in different ways. Watch the body language of the McLaren. Showing the nose to the inside. Piling on the psychological pressure on Duty up ahead. He knows what the score is. Just drive exactly as he is doing. Chaldenby is only going to lose the time that he tries to gain by piling on the pressure.
Yeah, they're making their way towards turn number 9 once again. Arthur continuing to lead this Grand Prix. Candy Floss losing now 7.5 tenths behind the Alpine. The Alpine completely flying here. 8.5 tenths as they come around the final corner. It's side by side behind between Mackie. Wheel to wheel through turn number 9, turn number 10. And nothing on that occasion doing as Mackie making the move. But once again, we head down towards turn number 3. And Candy Floss knows that they have to try and lead to ensure that Arthur can't run away. And towards turn number 3 we go. They're going to sit behind him. Is the Kick Sauber here as we go through turn 3 and apply the throttle down towards turn number 4 we go. Candy Floss will be gaining all the while, gaining in the slipstream, and then further behind Sheehan as well will look to make the move, but nothing doing on this occasion.
Indeed, lap number 9 of this race. It feels like we've already been 9 rounds here at the ring. That is the Red Bull ring. Arthur Way leads. Infinity in P2. Yellow flag though in the second sector. Can't quite see who it is. I think it's a V-carb car of Highwire that again is just feeling the pain and shame as Beaksy makes a move on Firth Warfare. Fantastic little manoeuvre from Beaksy round the outside. We're seeing plenty of that here today. Marvellous manoeuvres being executed. Elsewhere though, Yuri, he's on the back of his teammate, and the consistency is all too clear to see. Only 16 thousandths down on his personal best after the second sector. He is unleashing every single ounce of phenomenal pace that he has. So, DRS wide open for the championship challenger. Up ahead, we see Infinity chasing down Arthur Way. They're on lap number 10. Yuri's just crossed it to make double digits. And again, turn 3 is a compromise. Infinity cannot get close, and he's going to have his wits about him. Sheehan is on the prowl out there.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I saw Candy Floss in towards turn number 3, just doing some lift and coasting just to try and save that fuel. Because if you look at the telemetry, which I have on, the fuel light is yellow. And if you look at the likes of Arthur, they haven't underfueled. But then Duty, Sheehan and Candy Floss have all underfueled here. So, the good thing when you have to save fuel, you can also manage your tyres as well, just to ensure that they are able to just keep less speed carried into the corner, to ensure that they are able just to take a slower entry speed, be smooth on the traction. They can short shift to save the tyres and the rears, but then also fuel as well. If they've lifted off so much earlier as Unholy God, it's got a 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags.
And I bet you're wondering, how many seconds of penalties does the Unholy God have? The answer is 26 whole seconds, which, well, is more than double the amount of laps we've had of racing here in Austria. Yuri did get past his teammate. Next target is Fortis. He's got the battery to burn. He's got the confidence in spade. And when he puts the aces on the table, he'll show the nose to the inside. Let Fortis make the move himself. He'll be late on the brakes to challenge the Williams car. Be so careful not to tap the greatness from Grove ahead of him. Gets it all crossed up on the exit. The Williams has no battery though. He's already saving. Yuri, the Flying Dutchman, peels to the inside, and with incredible bravado and rapturous racecraft, moves through into P12. It's a masterclass so far.
up double G. Dropping down into P13, Yuri Ahrens, like you mentioned, making the move up into 12th place after starting in second. Had those technical issues on the, I think it was onto lap 2 or lap 3. But Candy Floss is doing quite well here, sticking around 8 tenths behind. So they don't get affected too much from the dirty air through the final couple of corners, but able just to sit behind the Alpine, just to ensure that they can save their tyres and their full yellow flag behind Sheldon Brown. The championship leader has had a moment on the exit of turn number 1. It's a moment for the championship leader here in Austria. Controversy.
Oh my goodness. Chris Allenby, championship leader by an astonishing margin. He's got front wing damage as well. Infinity has retaken the lead here in Austria. I can only assume Allenby has either tried to make a move on duty and it's gone wrong, or there's been some other complete controversy. Regardless, it will do him no world of favours. And this man here, Yuri, who scythes down the inside of Fortis, cutthroat move on the wounded Mercedes car, makes no difference. Yuri is charging on through. Next station to stop at is the top 10. James is just ahead. This has been an immaculate comeback so far from Yuri. In terms of the gap compared to the lead, he's only 15.5 seconds off, despite all the battling, despite all the chaos he's had to deal. Excuse me. What a drive it has been so far. Mackie goes through because Chalmers, no real surprise, is into the pit lane. Yuri is going to be ahead of the man he needs to chase down. The stars have aligned so astronomically well.
The championship pendulum swings in a matter of one singular lap. A very rare mistake from the championship leader. They are going to drop to 17th in the order whilst Yuri is trying to make these moves. Currently side by side. 4P10 in this Grand Prix as Arthur, by the way, has got back into the lead of the Grand Prix. Yuri now wheel to wheel with James in the Haas side by side between Ferrari and Haas as we go in towards turn number 4. And Yuri Ahrens is able to make that move further up ahead, though. The top 2 continuing to change positions, though, as they make their way towards turn 9 and turn number 10. Once again, here in Austria, Candy Floss will stick to the rear once again as we head through turn number 10. And something else that this lifting coating is able to help with is just the constant lifting. It helps recharge the battery pack as well, which is now side by side they run. Arthur going really defensive through turn 1. That compromises their line as we go towards turn 2 and turn number 3. Not a lot of battery left for Arthur, as now Sheehan will look to make the move as well. Oh. And side by side, second and third. Arthur dropped to second. Side by side, Arthur's dropped down into P3 and Arthur away. I don't get what they were planning. They turned the battery off midway through the straight, and now they've lost a hatful of positions from first down to third position in this Grand Prix.
That's what they can afford to do. Sheehan dives down the inside. He tried it. Oh. He sent it absolutely all the way, but Infinity takes it back. It was one send too many. Sheehan, though, looking to run rings round the outside. What a camera view we have. Oh. The helicopter shot. They're still side by side through the corner of Schlossgold. What a move from Sheehan to take the lead in Austria. Spectacular in Spielberg. The American dream is well and truly alive. And in a quest for a first win, what an outstanding overtake to put your name up in lights.
Yeah, more Welsh wonders here in the Red Bull Ring. Sheehan was an absolute spectacle move around the outside in the sunset skies of Spielberg. But now we make our way down towards turn number 3. And once again, Arthur's now the one who's trying to make these moves again. Quite a major mistake, really, by Arthur to let Candy Floss go, because that's cost him now 2 positions to the names of Sheehan and Candy Floss. And now we're on lap 15. This is perfect territory for Sheehan to now be leading this, because the hard compound tyres are now the better tyre already in this Grand Prix. The medium tyres are more or less useless here in Austria. When it gets to this phase of the Grand Prix, it's just able for Sheehan now to take the lead and have so much more grip. We saw it on Showcase last lap around the outside at turn number 7. But Carl, that was just an absolutely phenomenal move around turn 7.
Oh, honestly, I could watch that again and again and again. What a way to do it. Even if he doesn't win this race, that's probably my overtake of the season. Ridiculous. And more great news for Sheehan. Infinity, bad news for him. 3-second time penalty. The stormy cloud of the stewards well and truly in the camp of the kick Sauber. Sheehan's got to do one thing and one thing only, though, and that is save battery properly. It's his one big crux of his racing pedigree. He's got so many skills at his disposal, but battery management is one of those where it's just his Achilles heel. Infinity scythes up to the back of him once again and has got so much battery to burn. Sheehan without that luxury, but because he's on the harder tyres, can get away in the traction zones. What does Infinity dare to do? He's got the 3-second penalty. He's got nothing to lose. He's going to try and scythe it down the inside. Contact with the side pod of the Haas car, and he will save the battery. He will live to fight another day. Will the kick Sauber? Loads more penalties raining in here in Spielberg. As Sheehan leads, Infinity second, settles in now. We can just calm down a little bit. Arthurway in third, and Duty is just waiting patiently in the wings for now. It's fantastic stuff here at the Austrian Grand Prix.
Yeah, that shadow of a doubt. Candidates still sat in P2 here in Spielberg, is now to make our way down the main straight once again. That 3-second time penalty is be a sucker punch when we reach the end of this Grand Prix. And like you mentioned, it just completely flows with the time penalties here in Austria. Just how much we have already. Schaulenby, it's so weird to see him down in 17. You may be thinking, oh, it's going to be pitted early. No, it's a genuine mistake, which has sent the championship leader down to 17. But it's surely just now thrown it right into the hands of a brand new race winner this season without a shadow of a doubt. As Double G, you're going to be upset. A Williams driver picks up another 3-second time penalty for track limits, as Candyfloss still staying stuck to the rear of Sheehan, and they are slowly beginning to pull away from the other Williams of Mindmaster, who is currently sat in 5th in kind of no man's land now, because they've got a 9.3 second gap behind to the Mercedes of Herbie in the Silver Arrow.
Utter woke nonsense. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, while Double G's got a penalty, which is not ideal, Chowdenby's just made a double move into the right-hander of turn 3. Excellent work from him, obviously on the newer tyres, but to make the double move, very impressive indeed. While all that's been happening, Yuri's up to 9th. Yuri is up to 9th place, and more so than that, he's gaining on the leaders, despite not having DRS, despite having the battles. We were there with him a few laps ago. The gap was 15.5 seconds. Gap now is under 15 seconds. He is having the race of his life, Yuri, as Chowdenby, it goes from bad to worse. A 3-second time penalty to add to the ever-growing list of pain and shame he's having to deal with. At the front, it's still 4 astern. Mindmaster in the background, but fastest lap for Chowdenby. So, if you get a penalty, who really cares? You got fastest lap. Hello to Bilbo Swaggermuffin, by the way. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Sheehan leads on lap number 18. We are a quarter of the way through this race. Infinity in P2, Arthurway in P3 with Duty in 4th, Mindmaster just in the background in P5, and Yuri is now on the back of Herbie, Tanidran and Mackie. His battling race just gets better and better out there.
Yeah, Yuri completely flying through the field after those technical issues on the opening couple of laps. They are now currently sat in P9, which is a monumental recovery for the rival for the championship glory. Schaulenby currently making their way through turn number 7. They're slowly starting to catch up to the rear of the likes of Double G. 5 seconds between the Williams and the McLarens. We go towards turn 3 once again, and Arthurway has almost been dispatched from the rest of the field now as they make their way towards turn number 4. Arthurway trying to stick with them. Now, I think Arthur has actually been able to, he didn't underfuel. Arthur, obviously overfueled in this Grand Prix. The likes of Sheehan, this isn't going to do Sheehan any good because he is overfueled. If I look at the steering wheel, I believe that's just I think that's just 0.3 underfuel. If I look at the steering wheel of Candyfloss, I think it's 0.21 under fuel, or maybe 0.71. It's one of them, because the numbers seem quite similar, but nonetheless, as we make our way down towards turn number 9, turn 10 once again, that gap has been breached. It's a 1-second gap for Candyfloss in the, for the Haas of Sheehan, who has now got the 1-second gap over the Sauber of Candyfloss, and that is going to be a crucial in terms of Candyfloss trying to save the fuel. They're now going to have to do it on their own without the DRS.
There you go. He's done exactly what he needed to do. Sheehan just trying to escape away. He's not got much battery to play with, though. That's going to lend Infinity back into DRS. Again, the Achilles heel of the race leader has inherited Infinity, the DRS, once again. The traction can save you all it want, but if you don't have the electrical energy at your disposal, it does you no world of good. Infinity lives to fight another day. In the context of this battle, Shihan will get away in Sector 2, though that should be signed, sealed, and delivered. Yuri's a bit stuck, though, at the moment. Didn't think I'd say that. Double G, that is utter woke nonsense. Why are you getting another penalty, lad? But battle for P8 is interesting. RVK, though, and Taylor O'Brien. Crazy Casper. Sumptuous switchback from Crazy Casper into turn number 3. That was absolutely immaculate.
Over that side by side there, I think that's a Candy Floss who is peeling into pit lane to get off those medium compound tyres. The first front runner to strategically come into the box. The first driver of the top 14 to come into pit lane. And now I'm curious, what's the gap going to be between Sheldon B and Candy Floss? What will it be? It'll be a set of the hard compound tyres for the Kick Sauber. They will make their way now on the exit of the pit lane. That means Herbie, Tandra, and Maki, Yuri will all go up. Something I am going to find quite interesting now is Yuri going to alternate to the one-stop strategy just to see if they can gain back anything that they have lost in the course of this Grand Prix.
That's the big question. Lap number 21, and Infinity is peeled into the box of some hard compound tyres, which is good for him. Chowden B, well, he was at the penultimate corner by the time Infinity was peeling out of the pit lane, and that means absolute devastation in the context of his race. P13 currently stuck behind Crazy Casper, but I imagine not for much longer. DRS, newer tyres, inside line, outside line, take and pick. You've got newer tyres and optimal grip. Crazy Casper will fight it to the bitter end. However, the sweet sensation of an overtake should lend its way to the championship leader, who will hold the inside line and is nearly squeezed out. In fact, might have to wait this one out. Tries to hold the inside. No, he's going to have to wait again to make a move. Stout defense by Crazy Casper. He's absolutely entitled to do it. But the Ferrari defending the inside. It will be Chalmers on the outside and move into the penultimate corner, which is no contact at all. Great racing between the two of them, and away they go. Yuri's got through on Maki, which is great news for him. But on the prowl is the green machine. Yuri into the DRS range of Tanadran. Will make another move now. Around the outside. Flicking the wheel. Contact made though. There's the turn 3 incident that you were all looking for. But ERS and DRS will apply itself to the Ferrari car. Through he goes. Infinity also follows in unison and will go for a move of his own now. Opportunism at its finest. Slalom round the outside for our pole sitter, for our long-time race leader. That's a delightful move from Infinity Candy Floss.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, Candy Floss completely roaring right around the outside of Yuri Ahrens. That really takes some confidence to do that. And the Scarlet Ferrari will now try to hang on to this rear of the train, as I think Herbie's going to go in the pit lane. Contact between the front wing and the rear left tyre of the Mercedes. I think the Mercedes and the Kick Sauber contacting Candy Floss, getting it all wrong here in Austria and completely clasping the rear. And now this is going to give Yuri a perfect chance to he'll give him a perfect chance, a side-by-side behind, as Yuri is now ahead. Yuri's now back ahead of Candy Floss. Candy Floss is struggling all the while. It's half a front wing on the car. Big damage for our once race leader. Duty and Arthur Way have been in scraps as well. 4 seconds the lead Shihan holds. Now he's absolutely rampant out there. And Duty, throwing caution to the wind, sees the Williams of Mindmaster honing in. And, well, it means move must be made. A great, critical, committed move from the Red Bull up to P2. Shihan will lead us onto lap number 24. Don't know how many warnings he has. Don't know what the consistency is like. But he is loving life out there in the Styrian Hills. Duty in P2, Arthur Way in P3, Mindmaster in 4th, Yuri up to 5th from the back of the grid on lap 1. But drama galore. Infinity is going to have to make an impromptu pit stop after, well, at the same point where he got that damage. Herbie was well within his right. He was more than entitled to get into the pit lane. He's out! Infinity is out!
Infinity Candy Floss bows out of the Austrian Grand Prix on lap 24. It's a disaster. Yuri also comes into the pit lane, so the Ferrari driver will peel out onto a fresh set of hard compound tyres. Chowdhury, of course, will get ahead as a result, but this is very much damage limitation for both championship contenders. What a race we've had so far. Lap number 24 of the Austrian Grand Prix. By the way, we are trying many, in the background while all of this is happening, we are fighting technical goblins in the form of Discord. You pleb. But at the moment, nearly 25 laps to the good now are 25 laps to the good, courtesy of Sheehan. 4 seconds the gap between himself and his next closest challenger of Duty, who in my mind, and in my opinion, is definitely going for that one-stop strategy. Rio did join the call. He is now, well, we're trying different devices and everything, but, well, it's all a bit of chaos. We have been messaging each other non-stop when we stop talking, because then that means a smooth transition. For me, it's not a problem. I'm on the broadcast, but it's more his side where it's very tricky, because Discord is having about a good 3 or 4 seconds worth of delay between the end of us speaking and the other person hearing the end of the sentence. It's kind of weird. I'm not going to lie to you. In the Vegas livery, we have Mindmaster, who is digging on, excavating an excellent maneuver, potential one on the cards for the Williams driver. And what a team they are. What a team they are. I am not biased at all, but I hope they win everything. Sheehan again, just increasing the gap by a few tenths of a second. Not gaining at the rate I thought he would, but perhaps that's all an attempt as well to save the tyres. That is also a thing we need to consider. If you are going to make the one stop, you need to make ends meet. You've got to make it count. Now that Infinity is out of the race, it makes life a lot easier for our top 3, nay, our top 4. Mindmaster reeling in Arthur Way all the while, who has picked up a 3-second time penalty. So the top 3, as it stands at the moment, in TT1, as wide again goes Arthur Way. The top 3, as it stands, Sheehan, Duty, and Mindmaster. What a final 3 that could be, as Yuri is ahead of Herbie on the track. P10 for the Ferrari driver. Next target is James once again. The Haas driver awaits. Crazy Casper finds a move on Kitty Katie, who will come scratching and screaming. Claws for alarm, perhaps, if you know what I'm saying. But there's penalties galore at the back of the field. Fastest lap of the race belongs to, ladies and gentlemen, well, guess who? Who do you think it is? The answer is, of course, it's Yuri. A 1:07.2 belongs to the Ferrari driver. Excellent stuff out there. Katie will have the DRS on Crazy Casper. Battle's certainly not over yet. On board with the McLaren Maestro, as I'm hoping that Rio will appear from the depths. This is, well, I'll be honest, I'm distraught. But Katie holding behind to get the DRS. That's a smart move. Clips the curb as much as possible. Beatsy now has 15 seconds worth of time penalties. Absolute woke nonsense. We are now, well, we're going to be over the amount of laps there are in this race. Worth of penalties. Katie, brave on the brakes, down the inside. Has she made the corner? No, because Crazy Casper again with a sumptuous switchback. Chef's kiss, first class meal, and that is P14 once again. Mackie versus Mindmaster, because the Williams is going for that 2-stop strategy. Another set of the hard compound tyres, and he's well on his way now.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, as they make their way towards turn number 5. Hopefully I have fixed the issue now. I've had to join on my Xbox because my laptop is just not having it today whatsoever, as RVK jumps ahead of James, who is in pit lane. It was all behind Double G and Taylor and Katie now. Shallonby, by the way, was that spin. It's up into P6 now. Yuri, I don't know if they've pitted yet. Yuri has pitted. So that gap is only around with 6, 7, 8 seconds. And Yuri's got, I think, 10, 11 lap younger tyres. So it should be a lot better for Yuri now to be able just to try and hunt down.
Arthur Way into the pit lane. Alpine bows out on the medium tyres. At lap number 28, it's a good shift to be fair, and it should be hard compound tyres to the end. I say should be, because you can bank on our friend Burnt Mylander. Hard tyres, no real surprise. Out onto the track goes Arthur Way, which on my end will be a teleportation right now. Absolutely terrible. That is abhorrent, I'll be honest with you. As I can confirm, I don't want to tempt fate just yet, but that first interaction was actually some... Oh my god, Yuri is flying. 1:06.989. I tell you, the red mist has descended. He's painting the Red Bull Ring red. That's the game plan, and he's well on his way. P8 Easy move made. Tanidran, the next car up in front, and then after that, the championship leader awaits.
Yeah, Mindmaster now running wheel to wheel with Mackie in the Aston behind, and Mindmaster now into the podium positions for the Williams crew. They're ahead of Mackie, they're ahead of Arthur. It is now go Williams, as you would love to say, and you are probably jumping up and down right now at the sight of Williams in the podium positions, and he's now actually currently net P2 because Duty's still yet to box. But something's telling me, Carl, Duty's on the one stop here in Austria.
I agree. Duty absolutely on the one stop. He is a bit of a tyre whispering god, and interestingly as well, despite the age of tyres and despite the compound difference, Sheehan not pulling away from Duty. That could of course all come down to fuel saving as well, just for safety's sake, as Arthur gets through on Mackie as well. No delay, through on the start finish straight and up into P4 on the road. Chaldenby, the next car to overthrow Mackie. Yuri, the next car to overthrow Tanidran. Out of turn number 1, already reeling in the Red Bull at their home track. But home is not where the heart is. The answer is everyone's a Ferrari fan. Through goes the Ferrari to the sounds of clamouring and cheering. Yuri from the back of the grid is up to P7. The road to recovery continues. Chaldenby, his road to recovery, sees him now up to P5. It's all different kinds of parallels here.
Yeah, Chaldenby, the championship leader, currently sat in, I think, in at P4 in this Grand Prix. Sheehan's doing a monumental job to continue to pull away, but I'm more impressed with Duty's tyre management here in Austria. Probably going to do 30 laps on the set of the medium compound tyres, as Mindmaster almost pulling away from Arthur, who's almost got the gap to Chaldenby, who's almost got the gap to Mackie. They're all finding their own gaps here, but someone who's winning a shot of a podium here is Yuri Ahrens, the man chasing championship glory. It's not a race that the top two of the championship would have wanted, but if Yuri outscores Chaldenby, I'm sure he will take that nonetheless. As side by side between Taylor and James, Haas v Ferrari, two Ferrari powered cars running wheel to wheel, and around the outside goes the Haas ahead of the Scarlet Ferrari, but now back comes Taylor, side by side, down towards turn number 9. Will he think of it? He will back out, but he will think smarter, but then further up ahead, Arthur Way getting close to the rear of Mindmaster in the Williams. They have now dispatched and broken away of the championship leader, and Carl not wanting to deal with Williams maybe having the risk of being caught up in a collision. As side by side through turn 1, James and Taylor still going at it. Crazy Casper in the Ferrari running wheel to wheel and making the move, but then someone who might try and make the move, Katie, now that's going to stay tucked up behind for now.
With a bucket of popcorn, front row seat to this blockbuster, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you're enjoying the electric entertainment. We are rapidly approaching halfway through this race. The stories of the day so far. Infinity, our pole sitter, is the only driver to have retired. A collision at the pit entry where Herbie boxed. Infinity misjudging the closing speed, perhaps holding his narrow 2 line. Doesn't matter, because Crazy Casper just sives down the inside of James, who then switchbacks in towards the left-hander. This is a meteoric scrap for 13th place on the road. The Ferrari driver will win out in this case, and now it's James's turn to have the lethal double dose of DRS. Mindmaster and Arthur Way going into combat. Mindmaster holding P3 for the moment, but Arthur's not done yet. DRS wide open, and my heart has sunk to the floor. Yuri, though, is on the back of Mackie. No real surprise he's sized past. Mackie has been on those tyres since the start of this race. Yuri only 7 laps on his hard compound tyres. Next target, the championship leader, 11 laps is the tyre delta. And the Flying Dutchman is a man on a mission.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And somewhat people who we are going to see go wheel to wheel in a couple of moments' time as Duty finally comes into pit lane. That deserves a round of applause for that stint. 31 laps done on a single set of medium tyres. They will now see out the rest of the race on a single set of hard compound tyres. And that now, Carl, that means they have at least a 9-second buffer on Arthur and Mindmaster. Because they came to pit lane, I'm being a bit of like Will Buxton here, because they came in the pit lane with a 9-second gap, that means they have at least a 9-second buffer for when Arthur and Mindmaster do their second round of pit stops.
And they come out in completely clear air, which is great news for Duty, because if Arthur and Mindmaster continue to have some sensational scraps, Mindmaster is threatening to do it on the Alpine ahead. The Blue Blur versus the Black Shadow. Two icons of the motor racing world, or in this case, Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know if he was an icon of motor racing, but we'll ignore that conversation. Double G, though, moves up a place, only because Tanadran is in and out of the box. Will they peel out ahead of the trio of James, Taylor, and Kitty Katie? Well, they peel out ahead of 2/3 of the trio. Katie's there, though, looking to pounce. Tanadran burns the battery and puts that battle out of the conversation. Lap 32, Sheehan still remains on track. No real surprise there because, well, hard compound tyres, we assume he's going on the one-stop. There's no real threat now. Chalnaby and Yuri have faced problems this race. They're trying to recover. You've then had Infinity, who, well, with the two-stop strategy, had a chance of being the biggest threat to the leader and to Duty, but alas, he is out of this race. Massive front wing damage being the ultimate kick up the backside. Elsewhere, though, there are plentifully brilliant battles. James and Crazy Casper have been going at it hammer and tong. I say that as Crazy Casper gets a 3-second time penalty, but we will ignore that. Mindmaster and Arthur Way also bringing electric entertainment to the Styrian Hills, and they are gaining on Sheehan rather rapidly.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, James is now that duo battle. Both pick up 3-second time penalty. Whatever you can do, I can do just as well. Once again, they're going to resume battle into turn number 1, wheel to wheel. They go as further up. Duty gets ahead of Mackie to turn 4 to the plain sailing battery DRS move. As James and Crazy Casper will remain wheel to wheel here as we climb the hill, and it is James conceding the place to Taylor. But now, as they apply the power, can they now go wheel to wheel once more? This time towards turn 4, and this has been a race-long battle. We now go towards turn 4, side by side again. James is on the inside. They will remain wheel to wheel here. Rounding outside, Crazy Casper will try it as they apply the power through turn 5. Carl Taylor once again holds the position.
This is a thrilling scrap. It really is. Absolutely thrilling scrap, and it's about to get even more heated under the cauldron of Austria. Yuri is on the back of the championship leader. DRS wide open. A significant tyre delta for the Ferrari man. Sheehan's got to be careful here. He might well be going for that one-stop strategy, but the problem is Arthur and Mindmaster are gaining about a second a lap on their tyres. And, well, whether or not they're on a one-stop or a two-stop strategy, it does not matter. The point is they are rapidly approaching. The back Double G retires in the pit lane for a moment. The hairs on the back of our neck were standing on end, but it is just a lowly retirement for the first Williams of the race. It is woke nonsense.
Absolute woke nonsense, as Sean Dyche would love to reiterate. And like you said, yeah, the second and third gaining so much, but my eyes have been on this battle now for the whole lap. Yuri, are we going to see a repeat of what we saw in 2024 between Verstappen and Lando Norris? Unfortunately, the contact model isn't the same where you can get punctures from wheel-to-wheel contact. It would be quite funny if you could see that, because it would create some absolute cinema moments. But nonetheless, we head through turn 1 on lap 35. Yellow flags out because of the retired Williams, and I'm going to presume there was almost contact there as we make our way down towards turn number 3. Mackie into pit lane after 34 laps on the set of the hard tyres. That's going to be a long way to go if they are going to go to the end of the set of the medium tyres. But now apply the power, head down towards turn 4, and the top 2 in the World Championship are to do battle, or are they? Yuri Angel once again to stay tucked behind, and Chandlerby will frustrate the Scarlet Ferrari for yet another lap.
Indeed they will. Double G leaves the second. The reason I was so animated is because his car nearly just swiped out Arthur Way and Mindmaster. Didn't ghost, and on the run down to turn 3, they had to do some rapid avoiding action. Credit to both of them for being able to do it. As a result, the charge towards Sheehan has sort of been quelled, but only briefly. 7 laps on the hard compound tyres compared to Sheehan 35 laps on his tyres. Well past their best. Arthur and Mindmaster, well, they're pulling each other along to a potential race win conversation. Yuri, I'd argue, is not even far off either. This is unbelievable. From the man chasing the championship lead, again, we ride on board with the Ferrari driver. Again, eyes on James and Taylor O'Brien as well, because what a battle they could be having. Yuri turns off the battery. He knows he's got to get through. Feels like he has the pace and the momentum. Through goes the Ferrari. The championship chaser on a crusade for a race win. After all the chaos of lap number 1, while Chalnamy has the DRS, he's fought the farm. His tyres just are not up to the job. Yuri up to P4. 5 seconds to the cars ahead, and yes, he's got older tyres, but with the pace he has shown, he is well and truly in the hunt.
That is a proper championship leader mentality. Yellow flags are out, maybe for the lapped Alpine of Unholy God, who's not being really that holy right now. So kind of living up to the name. As once again, this time it's Tannydran and Taylor running wheel to wheels. We make our way down towards turn number 4 once again. They will go side by side, but as we hit the brakes, no longer side by side. As they're further ahead, Mackie and RVK do battle, and RVK concedes the place.
Lap number 37. We're over the fulcrum point. This is unbelievable, which gives me plenty of time to fulfill my contractual obligation. If you are not following TTYB, your kneecaps may be at risk. So please follow TTYB. Press the follow button below, because this has been one hell of a race. Only half distance, and we've got a scintillating scenario. Sheehan, the Welsh Dragon, fire breathing, and all is right. Mackie with the fastest lap of the race, a 6 point shut up, but Sheehan leads by 5.5 seconds. The reason why, though, is another yellow flag. The lapped car getting out of the way. That is of Unholy God once again, who, well, someone called the Exorcist. It has been an unholy race. But these two, Arthur, Mindmaster, catching up by nearly a second a lap in some cases. The one-stop versus the two-stop strategy. Sheehan has put all of his eggs into the basket of tyre management. Arthur Way and Mindmaster into phenomenal pace. They've got another thing to worry about, though. The Ferrari driver, Yuri Arons. What, honestly, already my driver of the day in so many ways. After the technical gremlins it looked like on lap number 1, he has fought back from P20 to P4, is catching up to the 2 cars ahead of him, and by extension, catching up to the leader of this race. It is a superlative showing.
It is absolute. This is what you need to be a world champion here. Need to have the raw consistency, but he's also towing along the championship leader as he has a really poor exit in. Sheldon B skipping the curve, losing half a second on the traction, and that tow might come to an end. The hard tyres on Sheehan's hat, they don't look that bad, but just how much younger they are. 27 laps younger are the tyres, and you've got to think, based from how the race has been going, it's going to be, by the time they get to lap 40, lap 41, Arthur and Mindmaster, they're going to be there. They're going to be there or thereabouts. And obviously, they've still got one more pit stop to go. So, it was definitely to be the one stop against the 2-stop. And this is what we are seeing as Mindmaster's almost lost DRS. They got 1.2. They have got DRS down the main straight. But Mindmaster, I don't think they're going to have it on the run down towards turn. No, they are going to get it through turn number 1 towards turn number 2 and 3. Very lucky.
By the skin of his teeth. The Italian stallion in the Williams car. Make that make sense. But lap 39 does have DRS, and once again will hold it by the skin of his teeth. Unholy God peels out of the session. A trip to the Baptist church is on the cards. Sheehan only leads by he leads by under 2 seconds now. Surely, I mean, the 2-stop is optimal in 50%. It's looking very, very optimal in a 100% scenario as well. And, well, Duty bought his tyres 31 laps on the 30 laps on the medium, should I say. Sheehan can do the absolute same. But it's a different ball game. It's not like the beginning of the race. As I hear yellow flags, Crazy Casper with a 3-second time penalty drops off the back of Tannydran and James. Must have been a moment in the final corner. Mindmaster still remains within DRS, and this is it. The battle for the lead commences. Arthur Way is a stone's throw away from DRS. What a stanza to the race we have now.
It is strategic plays here in Spielberg. It was always going to be a different strategy that would have been played. It was just a question of who would go for what. Who would start on the mediums? Who would go for the 2-stoppers? Arthur picks up another 3-second time penalty. A major cut. There's now 6 seconds in total as Mindmaster is just catching up by the skin of his teeth. Once again, back in the DRS. And now Duty as well is catching up to the rear of the championship leader as they make their way down towards turn number 3. Championship leader under pressure from Duty, the man who is 3rd in the World Championship. Probably going to be rooted to 3rd by the time we reach the end of the Grand Prix. But now to make our way down towards turn number 4. Duty on the inside. Shadowby go for a late defensive move. But Duty nonetheless making the move. Getting into 5th place in this Grand Prix. But Carl, it is now 1st, 2nd and 3rd within DRS of one another.
Oh, it is on. Look how much time Arthur gains through the left-hander. Again, to reiterate what Rio said earlier, you're probably wondering why are Sheehan tyres so off the cliff? Well, since the start of this race has been on them, and yes, they hold their nerve, yes, they're overpowered at the best of times, but when you've hit those cliffs, and they hit hard, compared to the newer hard compound tyres, boy do they hit hard. Yuri hoping that Sheehan can hold up Arthur Way and Mindmaster just a little bit longer. but resistance is futile. Arthur's going to be coming through, surely, unless Sheehan has plenty of battery. The answer is yes, he does, but he's not going to fight this. Arthur Way moves back into the lead on track here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Flick the car in, doesn't get it stopped. He's gone straight off the track. Sheehan's going to have DRS and more battery to burn. He's going to fly straight on through. I think Arthur's fought the bomb. Never mind. He covers off the racing line. Sheehan tries to look down the inside. A whole well of chaos just erupts in an instant. And Mindmaster now all over the back of Sheehan, who will lose DRS range. That will open the opportunity for the Williams driver. Arthur's job now is to just try and escape.
Yeah, without a doubt, and Sheehan surely going to peel into pit lane. He's lost DRS now to the leader. Arthur Way can now try and build this gap, and obviously there's still one stop to go. Sheehan's going to continue on for yet another lap here in Austria, which, well, he doesn't get the DRS, so surely he's going to lose so much more time now, but surely he's just wanting to continue to go as long as possible, so his medium tyres can go as long as possible whilst being competitive as well. Duty, by the way, is on a monumental recovery. He's already within DRS of Yuri. He's dispatched a Xiaomi not too long ago. Once again, Taylor and James run wheel to wheel, and Taylor on this occasion has to concede the position.
Great battle. Again, battle of the race as Mindmaster plows on through. Past Sheehan goes the Williams driver. P2 on the road belongs. Glory from Grove. It's absolute scenes. But now the chase for Arthur Way begins. He's beginning his progress as the V-carb of Highwire just peels out of the way of the unsuspecting competition. Yuri's a happy bunny as well. He's under 4 seconds behind Sheehan, so he's gained a tiny bit on the race leaders. It's not much, but it is honest work. Duty, though, very honest work. He's hounding the back of the Ferrari.
Yeah, about that. There was actually contact between she and then a lapped car there. Highwire, you turn your attention to him. Highwire now has front wing down. He's lost the left end plate after clattering into the rear. But finally, off the hard compound tyres. 42 laps done. What a stint that is. And they will now go to a set of the medium compound tyres for a 29 lap push on the medium compound tyres to ensure that they can maybe continue to fight for this race win. They should realistically undercut Arthur and Mindmaster, but if you're Arthur or Mindmaster, do you react to ensure you keep track position?
Well, let's think about the strategies here. Arthur and Mindmaster have run mediums and one set of hard compound tyres. They'll run another set of hards to the end of the race. You would think they pit relatively soon. They've been on the tyres for 15 and 16 laps respectively between the Alpine and the Williams driver. So since about lap number 28, you would have to think that they would pit somewhere around lap 51, maybe lap 52, to see them to the end of the race, if that's the strategy they're going for. Sheehan's going to try and run to the end. He's got a bit of an easier job. Car is lighter, track is more rubbered in. He should be able to bring those mediums relatively comfortably to the end of the race. As you can see, though, a 13.5 second gap to the cars ahead. Just got to introduce them gently and go from there, as Duty did make the move on Yuri, who's going to just couple onto this train and hope he can be hoisted on towards the front of the field. Lap number 44 of the Austrian Grand Prix, and greatness might well be defined today. A new race winner, in theory, on the cards. Yuri, though, looking to threaten that potential opportunity. It's through turn 1 they go for the 44th time. He's just going to sit in that DRS. Duty, fastest car on the track, outside, well, in terms of the race leaders, he's just going to keep on going.
Oh yeah, it's actually like yellow flags in the opening corner, and Wayfair is facing the wrong way. Flicks it around 180 degrees to get back to facing the right way. Almost contact with the Aston and Mercedes on the exit, but luckily, for Sheehan's sake at least, no safety car. But something I've been interested in, I looked at the race direction. Mindmaster, I've already forgot if you mentioned it. Mindmaster's gotten hard, so they have to go mediums again.
Have to go mediums.
And then Arthur can go onto a set of the hard, so they could reasonably pit any time from now to the end of the Grand Prix. Obviously, when we cross the line, 26 or 27 laps remaining, whatever way you look at it, we head around the final corner, and Arthur is completely flying away from Mindmaster now.
It really is. Arthur Way at 7.9, Mindmaster at 8.4, half second. Furfair Wares race keeps going from bad to worse. Another spin through the corner, whether the rear tyres are cooked or whether the brake bias is just a little bit too low. The point is, it is disaster. They are in 8th gear for the time being. They eventually learn how to switch down, and then round they go again. It's pirouetting in the sandbox. Sheehan sets the fastest lap. Chowderby is into the pit lane for, I presume, their final pit stop. There's not that much of a delta to Sheehan, so that could be race signed, sealed, and delivered for the McLaren will peel out in P7 with some clear track. On they go. Do have the hard compound tyres though, which is good news. Duty and Yuri working very well together. They've gained half a second on Mindmaster already, and by extension, gaining on Arthur Way. That's exactly what they need to do. Mercedes has gone round. Fortis is in the barrier at the pit entry. No cause for disqualification, which is great news for the Mercedes. But another moment, catching the inside curve at the second to last corner. It's all kicking off here in Austria.
Yeah, action plenty here on lap 45 of 71, heading on to lap 46 here in Spielberg. Obviously, like you mentioned, Shelby into pit lane. And something I did notice though on the last lap, Jet Racer ready for the lap times. On the previous lap, when comparing lap times between Arthur and Sheehan, 1.8 seconds gained on that previous lap. Sheehan, the Haas, the Welsh wonder, it's absolutely flying as the Aston Martin picks up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane and unsurprisingly retires from this Grand Prix. Someone who is impressing me though, Yuri's regathered some pace. They're sticking to the rear of Duty.
It's exactly what they need to do. Arthur ultimately has the prime pace. Using all of the track. He's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. He's got nothing to lose. He's going to throw everything at every single minute millimetre of bitumen available to them. It is a committed drive from the Alpine ace as through the left-hander they go for the 46th time. This race has been both the slowest and quickest race of all time. It's such a weird one, but what entertainment it's brought us. As through the final 2 corners he goes, the real comparison is the lap times. Arthur, wide again. At the penultimate corner, they can ill afford to do that. Duty catching up to Mindmaster. The time, the gauntlet is a 1 minute 8.1. Mindmaster across the line, set an 8.4. Duty and Yuri in just the bottom of your picture, a 7.6 for Duty, who is catching hand over fist. Yuri being coupled along. It highlights the importance of DRS, but also highlights just how consistent Yuri is playing this race.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And if the race was to finish like this, Yuri would get to podium after being last in the running order. So it just shows how well he has done to be. I think he was like at least 20 seconds, it must have been at least 10-15 seconds away from Arthur. That gap is now less than 6 seconds. It's 5.8. So Yuri's an absolutely staggering job here as a yellow flag because their teammate is off the circuit in turn 8. The Ferrari driver of Taylor O'Brien, Crazy Casper, his name could be. Who knows what his name is, but someone we do know he's off in the gravel.
Chowderby moves through into P6 meanwhile. There's progress. Past Herbie they go, and on into the distance. 10 seconds the gap between themselves and Sheehan. The damage done early doors. A mistake completely of their own, said the rear went, and that was the end of that. So vicious is the pendulum of grip. 11.1 seconds the gap to the competitors ahead. Not gaining a massive amount of time. Duty showing phenomenal pace. Yuri showing rampant resilience to just keep on coupling on in this train. Arthur continues to increase the gap out in front. Nearly 3.5 seconds between himself and Mindmaster. Duty and Yuri both catching in unison to the Williams driver. Stop. Sheehan in P5 with Chowderby in 6th. Herbie in 7th, Mackie in 8th, RVK in 9th. So chaotic has this race been that RVK is in P9 and Tanidran rounds out the top 10. But this has been a corker. I don't care. If it was to end like this, who cares? What a race we've had. So the overtakes have been absolutely outstanding. There's hardly been a taint or a smear on the character of our drivers today. It's been excellent racing throughout.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, Austria never disappoints in a race, whether that be real life or sim racing. There's always going to be overtakes, there's always going to be wheel to action, there's always going to be drama and controversy, and that we have seen plenty here as Yuri is doing absolutely phenomenally well. Apart from Beaksy, who wasn't meant to be here today, currently stuck to the rear of Fortis. It's only Fortis and Beaksy, and then Duty and Yuri, who are the cars within DRS of one another, and then actually make that now Mackie, who's within DRS of Herbie in the Mercedes on 25 laps so far on that set of hard compound tyres. The question is, though, when do they come into pit lane? Because the length that Arthur's going here, this is telling me that maybe he's going to go for another set of the medium compound tyres.
It is entirely possible. Mediums seem to have the pace. If you can have the overall pace at the end, happy days. Maybe that is the play, but Mindmaster is going to have mediums of his own as well. Make no mistake about that. Yuri, I would presume, has gone the harder compounds. Duty, doesn't matter. He's going for the one stop. He is primed and poised in this race, in my opinion, to have a really good shot at winning. Another Flying Dutchman of the TTYB scene, I'd argue has been so unlucky so many times, but this is an outstanding opportunity for the Red Bull driver at the Red Bull Ring what a fairy tale it could be, as Duty knows exactly what is expected of him. Yuri peeling to the inside. That's going to be a pit stop at the end of lap number 49. The Ferrari driver peels in, so it's all action now in the Tifosi camp.
Oh, get it stopped, Yuri. Double front lockup as he entered the pit lane. Nonetheless, he will have quite the gap to catch. Only a 6-lap offset when comparing Sheehan and Yuri. But once again, the question will be, where is Sheldon in comparison to his rival for the title? You can see Yuri now approaching pit exit. You can see Sheldon on the left right-hand side of your picture. Sheldon will have the outside line. They get to mention the top 2 in the World Championship side by side as we run down towards turn number 3, and Sheldon just ahead. But then Yuri will dive on the inside, but think about it, doesn't go for it, tries to dummy the move, but then we apply the power and head down towards turn number 4, and the top 2 once again will go wheel to wheel, and Yuri Aarons will move past Sheldon as there's a yellow flag out. Once again, Crazy Casper's off the circuit.
Traction troubles, but meanwhile a phenomenal battle between the 2 championship protagonists. Yuri making the move matter. Just held on the battery. I don't think Sheldon fought it too hard either. It looked like he fought the farm pretty quickly as Mindmaster peels into the pit lane. No time penalty for him. Good job. And it will be a set of, I would presume, the medium compound tyres, because that would be silly if it was anything else. Yes, it is. Medium compound tyres. Where does he peel out? In context to Yuri, though, who's got that 1-lap undercut, who used the pace of Duty so incredibly well. And what a chance this could be to overthrow the Williams driver out of turn number 1. Mindmaster is overtaken by Yuri Aarons, who is on for a podium on merit. This is an unbelievable drive from the championship chaser. Chowdenby immediately making moves down the inside. Purple sector 1. Argy bargy at the apex. This is aggressive. It's astonishing. It is amazing racing all the way through. And the McLaren is going to have to hold station for now.
Yeah, Sheldon wanted to make that move to get ahead of Mindmaster, so he would be directly behind his rival for the title, but that has worked a treat, and the gap between the net 1-2 in the Grand Prix, or will it be, because here comes Arthur into pit lane here, surely it will be for a set of the medium combat tyres. I was asking the question to myself, would Arthur maybe gamble to go to the end, but the risk would have just been too high? What tyres did he go for? A set of the hard compound tyres, so I don't get why he's gone that long, really, if he wanted to go for another set of the hard compound tyres. But, hey, he can now just push right to the end. So, Sheehan will move through as well. And then what about the rest of the trainers? Yuri, a brand new fastest lap of this Grand Prix. Here comes Arthur on the pit exit then. Arthur will be ahead of this train. And there is a bunch of lap cars there as Arthur's instantly making the move on the lapped car. Yuri still got DRS from the lap traffic ahead. And that is now Arthur with a 5.1 second gap to catch as Yuri will look around the outside of Beaksy in the sound by the lap car getting perfectly out the way as they apply the power, and then surely the Mercedes of Fortis as well will get out of the way of Yuri, probably on the exit of turn number 4, but it is game on at the front of the field, and surely Arthur will be gaining all the while.
Absolutely right. Does have that 6-second penalty looming over his head, but crucially has daylight between himself and Yuri. That was the critical thing. Only 2 laps difference between the tyres, but that can make all the difference at the end of this one. Scintillating racing in Spielberg. Duty leads by 8.6 seconds. Gap coming down, being chipped away at by Sheehan, who he himself is being caught exponentially by Arthur Way, by Yuri, by Mindmaster. Chowdenby all over the back of the Williams as the glory from Grove is about to get quite grisly. The McLaren has DRS. Mindmaster will have it from the lap car though. Great news. Arthur Way puts himself out of the conversation even further. 9 seconds worth of penalties. Yuri close to coupling to DRS, and that is the sword to any hopes of success in this race.
Something I completely forgot about. I completely forgot Duty was on the one stop here. So it is 3 different strategies in the top 3. You've got the medium to hard strategy, you've got the hard to medium strategy, and then you've got the medium hard strategy, which is just absolutely phenomenal here to see the 3 different strategy choices which you could have gone for, all in the top 3. Sheehan will be gaining all the while with an 11-lap offset, and then Arthur will be gaining all the while with a 9-lap offset. And Yuri, by the way, who has got the older tyres, Carl, is within DRS. The championship chaser is looking to gain more points.
Indeed he is. Frustration in penalties perhaps for Arthur Way, just lending themselves well to the Ferrari driver. Exactly what he needs. Again, wide goes the Alpine. Pressure upon pressure. Sometimes it makes diamonds. Other times it makes a completely different type of material. But the coal furnace is burning in Yuri Aren's camp. The fire is in the belly of the Ferrari driver. Just temps behind what was a second worth of a gap. Now decreases and decreases. Just stamp on the brake pedal as much as you can. Save the battery. Arthur does have decent pace. You can't argue that. I don't think Yuri is going to throw complete caution to the wind. He doesn't need to worry. Arthur peels out of the way. Yuri is on for a podium, ladies and gentlemen. 12 seconds worth of time penalties now for the Alpine driver behind. And now it is 10 seconds Yuri has between himself and the race leader. 4 seconds now under that between himself and Sheehan. And this is for the race win. 17 laps to go. After being at the back at the end of lap number 1, Yuri Arens is about to steal the spotlight in Spielberg in a big, big way.
Yeah, Yuri, he has to be the favourite. He's got the youngest tyres of the top 3 here, and he's just gaining so much. On lap 54, Duty lost 1.2 seconds to Sheehan here, so it is completely game on at the front of the field because Sheehan, who is catching Duty, is being caught by Yuri. It is really and truly game on. Arthur's noticed that Yuri has got the pace, but now maybe Arthur has to use this to be able to just save some battery and then use his own pace. As further behind, My Master is rounding outside and is through as Yuri gives up position and Arthur now gets back through. And maybe Yuri's now noticing he needs to recharge his battery so he can continue his resurgent recovery here in the Red Bull Ring, here in the Styrian Hills. It's just phenomenal display from the championship chasers. Arthur went on the grass there through turn number 6, and he's 0.6 of a second up on his personal best lap so far right now as they make their way towards turn 9, turn number 10. Carl, surely it's going to be a fastest lap.
It might well be a 7.8 for Duty. For Sheehan, what is the lap time saying? A 7.4. A few tenths faster. Arthur Way, a 6.0. Meteoric difference in terms of lap time. The two-stop lending itself extremely well to the likes of the Alpine and the Ferrari driver. Mindmaster, not with such luxury and luck. His mediums are already feeling the pain, even compared to Chaldenby. Well, there's the pressure of that and the pressure of the hard tyres. Through again goes the championship leader to take P5 on the road. But that is the pressure he's having to deal with. Meanwhile, 2.5 seconds. Now the gap between Arthur Way, make that Yuri Arens, and Sheehan, who is being pestered all the while by Kitty Katie, who is just latched onto the back of the McLaren driver. Bearing in mind, Katie's tyres 9 laps older than the hards, only a few laps younger, but also, crucially, a compound harder. That's the difference that Sheehan has got to deal with, and he's got 2 very hungry sharks on the case.
Yeah, without showing that. That kept down to 2 seconds. It is well and truly game on at the front of the field. Duty, a 107.748. What will Sheehan do over the line? We're going to see that time now. So 107.7 the beat is only a 107.5 for Sheehan. A 106.2 for Yuri. 1.3 seconds gained on the last lap. He's flying.
This is one of, if not probably the best drive in TTYB I've ever commentated on. Absolutely ridiculous. Down and out at lap number 1. 15 seconds behind the leader at the first round of pit stops.
Oh, duty penalty.
And yet he finds himself here. You're quite right. I was going to allude to it. Benji said absolutely correctly, Duty has a 3-second time penalty as again, DRS swapperoo between Arthur Way and Yuri Arens. Yuri saying, show me navigation to P1. Arthur's like, I've got you, sunshine. Through they carry on. The compass only points in one direction. In fact, it is deeply magnetized to the top step of the podium for the Flying Dutchman. Chaldenby and Mindmaster are still going hammer and tong. What a drive it's been from Yuri, regardless of what happens now. My drive of the season by quite some margin, at least from the ones I've watched. Yellow flag, it's just Katie getting out of the way of the race leaders who are tantalizingly close to DRS.
It is well and truly game on at the front of the field. We could have a 4-car DRS train, depending on how quickly Arthur and Yuri dispatch, because you have to think that Arthur and Yuri, they have to dispatch Sheehan, because Sheehan's only gaining like maybe 2 to 4 tenths of a second a lap now on Duty. The medium-hard strategy seems to be the way to go if he was on the one stop, but also you've got the question, Yuri has to get within the second of Sheehan. A moment on the exit of turn 3. And welcome back to the DRS train. Arthur and Yuri are within 1 second of P2. And Sheehan has now got a hatful of fighting to do if they want to keep P2 in the Grand Prix.
That he does. I was looking for battles elsewhere to try and impose some entertainment or sprinkle some seasoning on the Spielberg Hills. No, nothing. This is where all the action is. Split strategies have led us to this moment. All roads lead to a cutthroat tussle for the lead. Arthur Way saving the battery. Sheehan 5.5 seconds away from Duty. Has not caught up on this lap. Duty with a 1 minute 7.8. Sheehan, of course, went wide at turn number 3. His lap time 1 minute 7.8. Arthur Way is going to be right on the case. Nearly overtaken him already. Come turn number 1, excuse me, because I'm on double time. Eminem flows. The real Slim Shady, please stand up. The real P2 on the road. Please announce yourselves. Arthur Way is through. Has a car between himself and Yuri. As wide goes Yuri. That is high in mouth. So close. Arthur's also gone wide in the process. 3-second time penalty for Yuri. Again, it all kicks off in an instant. And that was so close to being raced down the drain for the Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly. Yuri just front locked up, and Arthur as well in the process just completely outbroke himself. There could be the questions asked if it was real life rules. That would be classed as leaving the track and gaining a lasting advantage. But now Yuri has to legitimately make this move to get, well, he has to legitimately make the move anyways, even if he didn't have the penalty, but he has to legitimately make the move if he is to beat Duty in this Grand Prix. This has now swung majorly back in the favour of the Red Bull Racing driver of Duty. The driver who's only had one singular podium in Season 4 could be on course for victory in the Styrian Hills. Duty, I can't imagine what his heart rate is right now, but I'm sure surely it's sky high. Like his performance, it's been a sky high performance from the Red Bull driver, and we've only got 12 laps remaining of this thrilling Austrian Grand Prix.
Benji does make a very compelling point, and that is the warning should be removed, as Yuri clearly lost time, and he did indeed lose time. Was well, he dropped anchor, quite frankly, but now he's back on the case of Sheehan up ahead. Has to recompose himself, just has to save the battery. Still plenty of time here, as Herbie is making moves, but only because Mackie's in the pit lane for a final set of tyres, and oh my god, he's on the soft compound tyres. It's unorthodox, I will grant you that, but he has completed the HMS challenge. This Aston Martin boat has sailed back onto the track and will now no doubt get the fastest lap of the race. Outside of a second is Arthur Way, exactly what he needs, but Sheehan's back into it. Not what Yuri needs, because he knows he's got the pace to overthrow Arthur Way and make ends meet. 3 seconds is the gap between Duty and Arthur at 8.0 versus a 6.8. Arthur is flying. Yuri needs to follow suit as quickly as possible. He cannot delay. Now 15 seconds worth of penalties for the Alpine driver. I would try and make the maths on the amount of penalties, but answers on a postcard. Yuri sails on through. That's for P3 on the road. Sheehan with no answer. The one-stop strategy just was not the way to go. Yuri moves through into P3 on the road, and now the chase for P1 is on.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, Arthur being caught once again by Yuri, and it is properly game on at the front of the field here as Sheehan is going to be dispatched very soon in comparison to Yuri and Arthur, who are just completely flying in this Grand Prix. And now surely it has to be Yuri who is the favourite to win this Grand Prix. They've already got 1 second, Carl, and they only overtook him on this lap.
Yeah, the one-stop strategy just not the play. As soon as you hit the various cliffs, it just becomes cutthroat as out of the way gets Tanadran, gets the Haas of James, although Tanadran uses the psychological advantage. He's retaken P10. That's going to attract the ire of the Ferrari, who is right on the back of the sister Haas car, helping out his teammate, a potential treat. Outside of a second goes Yuri. Tanadran will get dutifully out of the way. I have no doubt about that. In fact, I think just about gets out of the way. Massive snap into the corner and out of the corner for Yuri Arens. Another obstacle in their charge and quest for victory that they could ill afford. Either way, no real conundrums. The battle between Tanadran and James is quelled because Sheehan has split the pair of them.
Yeah, without a doubt, Arthur is now under 2 seconds away from Duty. Mindmaster as well was close to the rear of Shoutenby, who as well, we have to applaud him. He's done a brilliant drive after dropping down to 17th after the pit stop brigade. He's now in, Shoutenby currently running in 5th. It will probably be 6th. Actually, no, it might actually be 5th because of when the checkered flag falls. Yellow flags are out for James, who is just getting out of the way. But Carl, it's properly game on at front of the field. It will be Yuri v Duty for race victory. Arthur will probably want to take it on the road just to have that pleasure of taking the checkered flag first. But nonetheless, Yuri v Duty for Grand Prix victory here in Spielberg.
Testament to the pace of Arthur, though. He will finish in the top 6 unless there's a major mistake that he makes. Even with the penalties he has, he will finish P6 on the road. So commendable effort, even with the stormy cloud of the stewards raining on his parade. It is all scarlet sunshine, though, for this man. Nearly within a second of Duty ahead is Arthur. Yuri will use that advantage to get on through, out of the way. Gets the V-carb. That is not of Highwire, that is of RVK, who dutifully moves away from Arthur Way, and Yuri sends them well on their way. How many times can you say way before it doesn't sound like a word? Well, guess what? If you couldn't hit your pro team before, strength to strength goes the race at a 2-stop, because Duty is well and truly in the clutches of Arthur Way, and by extension, the man in P3.
It is now well and truly game on. We have a 3-car DRS train. How much do you want to brawl here in Austria? Because they have to take into account that Sheehan as well will still have a chance to win this Grand Prix. We can't count out Mindmaster as well. They have got a proper chance for a podium here in Austria as Shoutenby gets through on the lap car, and the Red Bull of Tanidran, who is being lapped now as well. Tanidran trying to keep on the inside, it seemed never towards the top of the hill. Yuri's getting close once again. Arthur's diving on the inside. Side by side they run, and Arthur to the lead of the Grand Prix. But can Duty fight back? On the rundown towards turn number 3, Duty will be gaining all the while, but on this occasion, nothing doing. What about Yuri? Stay tucked up behind, and now it's change of leaders wide. Goes the Red Bull into the Red Bull. Goes the Alpine. Wheel to wheel they go, and Duty through, Yuri through as well.
That's made it easy. That's made it smooth sailing now. Arthur Way through. Well, down into P3, Yuri through, crucially, into P2. That's opened the floodgates for the Ferrari. Shoutenby, by extension, Sheehan will have caught up a little bit in that exchange. And on to lap number 65 we go. 7 tours to the end. It has been a commendable one-stop effort from Duty, but it can only be held for so long. These two have been on the prowl. They have fought hammer and nail. How Yuri has managed to overthrow a 15-second gap for the lead, I will never know. It's a mark of the man, the maestro that dons the scarlet colours of Ferrari. A potential chance to paint the town red in Spielberg. Will have to wait at least one more corner. Try to get the traction down. Don't cut your nose off on the diffuser of the Red Bull. He'll leave the inside line open. Resistance is futile. I'm coming through. The Championship Crusader is through. The regain, the comeback is complete. Yuri leads the Austrian Grand Prix. Take a bow. Showstopper from the Scarlet Ferrari.
Yuri, what a phenomenal recovery this is. Just keep it within the white lines and you will be the race winner of the Austrian Grand Prix. By the way, the gap between Yuri and Sheehan, 3.0 seconds. It's still on, but I think with the younger tyres, Yuri will just continue to pull away as we head round the final corner and head down the main straight, heading on to lap 66 of 71 here in Austria. Sheehan is slowly gaining again on Duty as we head through turn number 1. Arthur now with a moment on the exit of turn 1, clappering the curb, and now Duty, I thought he might have had the chance, but on this occasion, not close enough because Duty, those tyres are just completely fading away. Shoutenby back ahead of Mindmaster as well, by the way, and the Williams is currently now rooted in P6. It's still a very high chance for a podium though here in Austria for the Williams driver.
Does he dare to dream of a race win as well? If these guys at the front battle as hard as they might well do, there is every chance Mindmaster is still in the conversation for the race win. He's got to get past Sheehan first. That's what Shoutenby and Mindmaster's next quest is. With 5 tours to go almost of the Austrian Grand Prix ahead of us. Yuri leads. Last at the end of lap number 1, the beginning of lap 2. Race should have been sunk like a brick. Signed, sealed and delivered. But he said no. I have a score to settle. The script writes itself. Arthur goes wide again. Consistency, resilience, racecraft has put Yuri in this position. Arthur's going to retake the race lead at turn number 1. Yuri's not going to care one bit. He knows he can just couple onto the DRS. If Arthur wants to put on the pace, he absolutely can. He's saving batteries to turn number 3, though. So through goes the Ferrari driver. This is their opportunity to just hold station. Ttyb moves past Sheehan for P4 on the road. Don't count out Ttyb, or Ttyb could be on for a podium as well if things go his way and he overtakes Duty. What a comeback it's been from both championship protagonists. Arthur takes the lead once again, and this is going to be standard procedure from now.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, Arthur, these two to continue dueling and digest. One thing they do not want, though, because now Mackie is another 3-second timer. If they lose too much time, it will be once again advantage She and the Mindmaster here. We're going to head into lap 68 very soon. That'll be 4 laps remaining of this spectacle Spielberg Austrian Grand Prix as we head down towards turn 9, turn number 10. That gap has almost been bridged by Arthur Way on the 15-lap old hard combat tyres. I'll tell you what, Carl, it has been bridged.
Has been bridged indeed. Phenomenal pace from Arthur Way, regardless of the amount of warnings he has. He'll take the win on the track. Does not care one bit about that. Yuri, though, it depends on the battery he has. 80% worth of battery is the answer. He's got so much more to burn. As we hear the oohs and the ahs, I've no idea what's just happened, but all fine. All is fine in love and war. Yuri on his way. Brakes for turn number 3. Gap 0.8 of a second. Plenty of battery to burn. Arthur will push all the while. Yuri is just going to stay coupled.
Duty went skateboarding on the exit at turn number 1. As further behind Katie and Tanning Dram run wheel to wheel momentarily. And Katie up into the top 10 for the McLaren team. It's not going to be a Constructors' Championship day today. And it's actually going to be quite the rare sight of Ferrari actually maybe outscoring McLaren in this Grand Prix. It's mainly just been advantage McLaren, but maybe Ferrari, when they need to the most, they are now clawing back the time, and it is well and truly on a podium for the championship leader. Despite the upsets we have seen in Austria, with Yuri having the technical issues on the opening couple of laps, and then with Sheldon being Arthur Way. What's 18 seconds of penalties now? Just keep it in the white lines.
Arthur Way having line issues in this race. Behave. Lap 69, again, behave. But Arthur Way and Yuri have put on a scintillating show all the way through. Arthur saving the battery. Wants Yuri to overtake into turn 3. It's not going to happen. Never mind. Yuri's going for it anyway. Brave on the brakes. Round the outside. Tchoudenby's up to P3. Yuri's back up to P1. And normal service is resumed. Absolutely fantastic. And this race still has some twists and turns in it. We have no doubt about that. 2.5 laps to go. What a story we have to break down come the end of the race. But it all lines up to the Ferrari. All roads lead to Rome. All roads lead to rampant success. Unbelievable.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yuri, obviously, remember back to Imola with his emphatic and phenomenal performance of controlling it from the front, dueling with Sheehan. He had some duels with Sheehan in this Grand Prix, but it's just been... Arthur with a major tank slapper through turn number 9. But Yuri is just showing why he's a championship crusader, like you have been calling him. Just showing the raw consistency, the raw pace, the raw just ruthlessness that you have to show in these Grand Prix. Arthur, once again, does he know what staying within the track limits is? He's going to make the move anyway, flying around the outside to retake the lead of this Grand Prix.
21 seconds of penalties awaits, but the race lead does as well, so who's really winning? Arthur Way takes the lead on track, once again on lap number 70 out of 71. Yuri's got the DRS though, and is going to hunker down into the slipstream of the Alpine driver, who saves the battery, wants Yuri to probably try and make a move, but no, Yuri's just going to save the battery, because he wants to win it on the track as well. That's what we love about this. I'm watching the gap with interest in regards to Tchoudenby. He's currently got 1.3 seconds over Sheehan. That would not keep him on the podium. Sheehan would take a podium on the one-stop strategy. Mindmaster is over 3 seconds now behind Tchoudenby, so a potential top 4 on the road awaits, but he's got to get a move on. One final lap awaits us. Arthur and Yuri just going to play the DRS games for us, I feel.
Yeah, without a doubt, we head into the final lap of this Grand Prix. Yuri will want to get it on the circuit. Lap 71 of 71. It's been an absolutely phenomenal Austrian Grand Prix. We've seen upsets that have been turned into glories as we head towards turn 3. Arthur's out of the battery. Yuri has got the battery. We climb the hill towards turn 3. Arthur goes defensive. Yuri's going to look around the outside, try to sail it around the outside, then go for the old switcheroo out of turn 3, but apply the power, head down towards turn 4, and the top 2 in the Grand Prix will be side by side, and Yuri gets through, and Duty's round.
Duty's round, he's hit the wall on the final lap. Devastating news for the Red Bull driver. He will still garner a top 5. Meanwhile, the top 2, hammer and tong for the large portion of the last stage of this race. What a climax, though. A conclusion to the Austrian Grand Prix that no one expected. At the end of lap number 1, Yuri, with technical gremlins that haunted him at lap number 1, 70 laps later, did he ever think he'd round the final corner and paint Spielberg scarlet? Yuri wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Arthur Way, sideways, will come home for P2 on the road. Sheehan takes P2. Sheldon B comes home to take P3 after the front wing damage. And if you ever needed an indication of why these two are the championship protagonists, look no further than this race. Because they whittled away at it. They were resilient. They never gave up. And they have got their just rewards. Sheehan splits the pair of them. Mindmaster will take home P4 on the road. Arthur takes home P5 with Duty in 6th. The final few to go. I feel like I need to lie down. That was the best race. That felt like the absolute best race I've ever commentated on TTYB. Austria, thank you. TTYB, thank you. What a treat we have been shown tonight.
It never disappoints Austria. It's absolutely world-class track for racing. And like Yuri said in track, P2 to last to P1. That is the pure talent that you need to be a world champion. Yuri Ahrens, the Flying Dutchman. One thing's a certain, Cole, he well and truly flew today in Austria.
And will lift the trophy aloft, send it to the heavens, because it's a drive of unholy proportions from Ferrari. Panic stations in the Vatican. How has he managed to manifest this? Well, guess what? You don't need to sound the alarm bells because the town is red in Austria. I said it was red in the flag. Did we know a red car would be winning it at the end? Certainly not after lap number 1. That was utterly incredible all the way through. The accolades are as follows before Rio takes us through the final classification. Sheehan with the cleanest driver. Yuri most overtakes and the race winner. Driver of the day and fastest lap to Mackie. Rio, I hand it over to you.
So the podium, Yuri, Sheehan and Sheldon will be the two championship protagonists in the top 3. Mindmaster in 4th, Arthur 5th, Duty last lap spin in 6th. Then it'll be Herbie, Mackie, Tanidran 7th, 8th and 9th, RVK 10th, James 11th, Katie 12th, Fortis in P13, Beaksy 14th, Highwire 15th. And then the 5 retirees from this Austrian Grand Prix, Taylor O'Brien, or Crazy Casper you could call him, Fair, that's probably how I was going to say the first part. I did not want to risk butchering it. Unholy God in the Alpine in P18, the Jamaican, then the P19 Double G in the Williams, and then the pole sitter. Unfortunate events finishes last in this Grand Prix, but nonetheless, it is a stellar performance from Yuri Ahrens. In a sense, last to first, isn't it?
It really is. P2 to last to P1. 15 seconds behind the field come lap number 8 of this race, if my memory serves me correctly, and yet he overthrew that with strategy, with speed, with everything in between. An utterly unbelievable drive. And like I say, that is up there with probably the best drive I've ever seen in TTYB. To not give up, to keep your head in the game like that, and come home to win, no less, after all the trouble you faced early on. I mean, credit where credit is due. Absolutely brilliant drive. Like I say, could be the best drive I've ever seen in this league.
It's definitely the best one I've ever seen, without a shadow of a doubt. I've only been commentating for the start of the season, maybe halfway through the season. I'm not actually too sure. But nonetheless, it was emphatic, just phenomenal from Yuri. When do you ever see drives like that? Obviously, we've seen it before. We've seen drivers go from their starting order, but we've never seen them come through mid-race adversity from last to first. It's just... he's probably going to be the best ever driver to not win the championship in a season is Yuri, because it was such a championship worthy performance.
I couldn't agree more with you. Everyone reining in with Discord's having a mare. I agree. Discord always has a mare in this world. Rio's had to now travel over to his Xbox, for goodness sakes. That's how we managed to save the sync issues. So, quite unbelievable. They say you're bugging, Rio. Your audio's just popping. I wouldn't worry if I were you. This is the way of Discord tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But We're going to ignore that because before we have our little race wrap-up, which has just been utterly chaotic from start to finish, I don't know how we're still breathing, to be honest with you. While I'm wearing the Williams top, we weren't on the podium today. We got close, though. I'm going to say it was a lucky charm. Meanwhile, someone back on the podium. He's in P... do you know, I feel bad for him. He's in P2 again, and I'm about. I'm genuinely a curse to him. But we're going to drag him in. We're going to get his words. So, introducing into the commentary pen is now Sheehan, I think, because Discord is having an absolute stinker.
It is, yes.
Never mind, he's back at...
Oh,
Why
he's
is
there.
he back in the interview room? Give it a moment. This sometimes happens. I'm just going to wait, because if I play it patient, my patience will be rewarded. Sheehan, I'll try and pull you back in. This is interesting. Sheehan, are you... Yes, he's here. Sheehan, welcome in, my friend.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. What do I even say? Congratulations, commiserations. Again, I've cursed you. I feel like you've got P2 again with me in the box.
If I did, I did a one stop, you know, but if I did a two stop, I was winning that thing. I didn't know the two stop was that powerful.
Yes.
So yeah, it was fine though. It's all good.
Sure.
Hindsight's strong.
No, that was the big question I think I had for you, was the debate between two stop and one stop. Was there ever any time where you thought about switching to the two stop, or when you saw Infinity and Co bow out of the race, was the one stop always going to be on the cards for you?
To be fair, I was already planning a one stop, but yeah, didn't know it would be that weak compared to the two stop, but it's fine. That VC I was in the previous VC was the biggest vibe of my life. Like, we were just chilling, yapping, or fighting for a win in a 100% league race. So I'm all happy. Infinity. When I said, you might have seen my send on Infinity to turn 4 early on in the race. He really wanted to stay in the lead because he liked, be in P1 for a while. So I was just no. So I sent him for 3 car legs back. Didn't hit him. Barely. But hey, it was fun. I completely missed the corner, but we got there. I got him in the end. Turn 5. It's all good.
Do you know what?
It's all fun games.
Do you know what? I thought it was parallels, because that's, you know what? Similar move that we managed to have a song and dance about in Blackout last season, which is quite fun.
Admittedly, though, that was from within dive bomb grounds. Mine probably would have gotten me in prison in some third world country.
Federal jail.
That would have. That's like a war crime. Yeah, to be fair, another thing as well. Last Monday in Blackout, the one time you're not racing, not commentating, I win both races. Holy hell, you are my bad luck charm. You are my bad luck charm. Crazy work. But yeah, honestly, it was a fun race. I enjoyed it. My wheel is the Fussmaster T248, and it apparently has an issue with Xbox where, like, after a while of playtime, it freezes the game, kicks me out. So that entire race, in like 50, I was like dreading it happening, but it didn't, and I like jumped for joy. And guess what? As soon as I left the lobby, it disconnected.
Great. Absolutely world-class joke. Absolutely world-class joke from Sheehan. Get him back in here. That was good, my friend. Well done.
I have a question.
Yeah, okay.
Renault's mentioned in the chat, there was a bug on your face.
There was. I was chilling, and I'd be Arthur, Duty, and Mackie and others in that VC. But it's fucking yapping. And I was like, and I just saw the corner of my eye, there's a bug on it. There was an actual fly flying around my face, like around that 50.
Is that why you didn't win? Was it the fly?
No, I didn't win because I did the wrong strategy. That's why I didn't win.
No, blame the fly. Trust.
Oh, yeah, but fly. Screw you. I don't know. What else? I was like a slur for flies. I don't know anymore. You insect.
Insect.
Oh, like, there we go. Like,
Good enough.
I guess that works. Yeah, I love being P2 again. Last week, though, was probably no comment because I feel like I will be banned. I will be banned. Anyway, but I'm having fun. I'm like, you should Duty in the VC as well. Was not a vibe. He was upset that he didn't get the win in the end, which is fair. He was frustrated with that. He also did the one stop though, so I mean, respect.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
But it's just like a chill, fun race, and I'm sure the next race is in the Middle East. It's not going to be bad, but of course it is. I don't know, it's Qatar or Jeddah next week is one of the two. So I know those are the final 2 rounds.
Oh, it's Qatar.
Qatar next week.
Qatar?
That's what it is. Yes,
Oh
it
boy,
is.
I can't wait to.
Oh,
I
do
don't
you know
know.
what I'm dreading
There's
then?
nothing to do. There's nothing to do in Qatar, is there? It's just a straight line.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, I
a few
mean,
S's here there. To be
Quarters
fair,
advisory.
whoever readied up early on the grid and made the restart happen, so I restarted my game, saved my life because I would have disconnected. Because 18 minutes quality and 100%, it's not enough for my wheels to survive Hartley. And I wasn't even too sure it would survive 71 laps alone.
But a
So
71 lap race was. Make it make sense.
whoever broke the rules, and readied up early, thank you. Also, some law, very funny law. I'll send a clip in soon. So you know the Alpine Unholy God. You know him?
The Exorcist, yes.
Yeah. So he was in the VC with everyone that I was in, right? And we were like, let's go on this. We were like, who's going to get a lap first? And I was like, probably the Holy God, but he had a different name in the VC. So when I said that, he was like, thanks guys. I was like, oh shit. So fast forward 40 laps into the race, I'm about to lap Unholy God. So he stops at turn 3. I'm going around the outside of him. Guess what car I see dive into my car? Into the front wing. Mr. Unholy God himself. Let me past and then drove into my car. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't asking for it. Because for the 10 laps when I was catching him before I lapped him, Arthur and others were like, oh, he's going to kill me. He's so going to take me out. After I said he's going to be lap first. And then he did. And then we decided it's a she and hate club. He's the president.
Unbelievable.
Clearly.
Unholy God.
It's just unholy God. He'd probably be banned for that. Definitely on purpose.
Unholy God, get rebaptized. That's my advice to you. See
Unholy
a
God.
priest. Actually, no, don't see a priest.
Unholy...
Final question from me.
There's questions?
Final question. Yes, one more question for me. You have moved up to, I'm pretty sure, P4 in the championship. You have a good chance of overthrowing... Exactly. Have you a good chance of overthrowing Duty as well for P3 in the championship in the next 2 rounds? Question, firstly, do you think you can do it? And secondly, can we expect a race win in the final 2 rounds? I'm literally rooting for you, mate.
Oh, I hope so. I did the completely wrong strategy today. Still son of a Sheldon B did some exorcism and got me a free second. I don't know if I should be saying this live on the stream, actually. I might be killed. What else? What else happened that didn't go right for me? That cost me a win. Probably my skill. Strategy, I think I said that already. My spin in Kota, my DSQ in Brazil, my missing quali in F2 and getting spun out. Yeah, there's a lot of things going wrong. Carl being in the com box. So many issues. But I have to overthrow to get this win. But I think I'll get the win. If I win a race next race, I'm going to be back next season. And it's not only going to be a race I'm winning the whole damn championship. Saying it here, saying it now. I'm gunning for that title. Sheldon B, Yuri, you're mine. This is it. This is the call out post at Twitter.com. You're mine, and that's my title next season.
Everyone,
write it down,
be afraid.
quote it, and if I don't win the championship, post this everywhere and laugh at me.
Fair, I respect that. Well, the gauntlet's been laid down, Yuri and Sheldon B. Beware. But the main thing is, Sheehan.
I'm also winning the blackout title this season too.
Yes, good man. Listen,
I don't know where I am in the championship.
I think you're probably close to the top, to be fair. But that's a conversation for another day. I'll work on that.
Yeah, that's a different league. I can't plug that.
Shout out Blackout Racing League. I commentate there. Anyway, Sheehan, choose. Matt, listen, thank you for joining us. Well done today. Another P2.
Hello.
Sorry. But another P2. Congratulations. Consistency is key. Hate you too, mate. And enjoy the rest of your evening.
Consistency is the key, not to win. I will. I'm going to go to bed.
Absolutely. And the good thing is, because he's on the Thrustmaster T248, the interview might cut out like that and he's in the interview room. The joke was he's now in the interview room as I said that, so that's good. Well, that is the only interview for the day, ladies and gentlemen. But, I mean, how do you even summarise a race like that, Rio? It's just anarchy from start to finish, honestly. Electric entertainment, but anarchy. It was brilliant.
Well, probably one of the most insane races I've done in my commentary career. Obviously, it was an action. You had at least, I'm going to say, at least 100 overtakes in that Grand Prix. You had obviously the phenomenal recovery from Yuri and Challenby. You can't discount that as well. Challenby was 17th at one point in that Grand Prix. So obviously, if you could do two drivers of the day, you would have to give it to the two championship leaders.
Oh, for sure. I completely concur with that. That would have been my next segue, is who on earth is driver of the day out of all of that exchange? I mean, it's a coin toss between those two, isn't it? But it explains exactly why, as we've reiterated many times, just why they are in that championship fight. The fact that they did never give up, even when their back was against the wall. They prized themselves off it, and they have a podium and a win between themselves that justifies their rampant resilience. I mean, honestly, credits to both of them. Credits to Duty as well. I mean, until the last lap spin, admittedly, but credits to him and Sheehan for braving out the one stop, not being that far away ultimately from the race win. It wasn't the most suboptimal strategy in the world, but the two stop was the play at the end of the day. I mean, we saw that all the way through. And Yuri's in the chat. Yuri, honestly, like, I don't even know what to say. That is probably the best drive I've ever seen from someone in TTYB by quite some margin. Electric effort.
Yeah, it's phenomenal from Yuri. RVK Shane did the one stop as well. We haven't forgot about you.
We haven't.
We have. But no, like
Game's
you
gone.
mentioned, yeah, but no, like you mentioned, it's phenomenal from the pair of them. Obviously, I'm gonna lay this question on you. It might be an obvious one, but who's your driver of the day?
It's got to be Yuri. It's got to be Yuri.
Yeah.
We did notice the technical issues, by the way, Yuri. I will just say. I thought it was technical issues. Well, we both did, and we were right. But we did notice, and did not go unnoticed, the fact you went from P2 to P last to P1 over the course of the race. Just amazing effort. Easily my driver of the day vote goes to him, no doubt. If I did it for entertainment, though, James or Crazy Casper is up on my list as well, because they were going hammer and tonk for ages and ages. So they're up there in my estimations as well. Who is your driver of the day, Rio Harris?
You basically explained it all for me, Yuri as well, because I've said it so much already, but it's phenomenal what you've done to face that adversity. Maybe thinking, oh, mate, might not be able to continue because of the technical issues, but then just showed pure resilience to be able to win the Grand Prix. And could it be the start of a crazy comeback? Who knows?
It might well be. You never know. I might have to also quickly overrule the vote and say Beaksy, because apparently they have the nuke button. So that means if I don't say he's driver of the day in this obviously completely dictatorial world of TTYB, I will be smited. So Beaksy, you're my goat. And without further ado, on that non-biased note, all that remains to say is a massive thank you, all of you, for watching. We've nearly been going for 2.5 hours because of a 100% race, but also because that was absolutely wonderful. Genuinely, I've had many great times on a Friday night commentating TTYB, and with Rio in the box, with Austria, with the racing that we have seen today, that is like top of the list easily. I don't even think it comes close. Absolutely brilliant. And again, a fairy tale to rejoin the action at Austria, where I commentated my first race in season number 2. There was no more poetic a time. And with that, the words write themselves. Thank you all very much. You are all absolute legends. And also an absolute legend is that man over to my right-hand side as you see it. Rio Harris, absolutely phenomenal work from yourself. A pleasure to share the commentary box with you, as it always is. But where can the lovely people find you on an internet?
It's why you can't find me. You can't find me in a Sahara desert without water. Mainly because I haven't got the money to go anywhere.
Fair.
But you can find me on pretty much every single social at Rio Harris F1, which is basically my go-to name now instead of like a mix of a bunch. But yeah, just Rio Harris F1, Twitch, Insta, TikTok, Twitter, that's the other one, yeah. But where can they find you, Mr. Carl Peranic?
Well, I'll tell you where they can't find me. Incinerating insects in Idaho. Mostly because I don't want to go to Idaho. You won't find me there. But where you will find me, ladies and gentlemen, is, well, my name, Carl Peranic. It's a very easy name to get right. Well, actually, very easy to get wrong. But most importantly, if you do get it right, it makes it very easy to find me. I've shouted it in the Twitch chat. I've put it all in caps. But if you just type it like that, or not in caps, you'll probably find me there. What an absolute pleasure it has been, as Rio Harris also screams his name. Follow it now. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That will do. And all that remains for me to say is, again, many thanks. What a race it's been at the Austrian Grand Prix. And, well, if you've enjoyed the action and you're not following TTYB, you absolutely should. Hit that follow button. You do not want to miss the action as we head into the final 2 rounds. Chances for both championships to be wrapped up. Me and Rio will absolutely be there. You'd better be there. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you follow us on Twitch, but also on YouTube. Check out the Discord server as well. Join this amazing community full of wonderful, wonderful people. Thank you to Katie, Rage Lad, Rio Heritage, thanks to you again, Sheehan, Pat Mike, and everyone in between. We've been Carl and Rio. This has been TTYB. Take care of yourselves. Good night.
Ride it on the edge, one mistake away from gravel, a glory's ledge. Push it past the limit, don't you lift or break. If you're not dancing with disaster, you're not wide awake. Throttle till you bottle, this is how we race. In the fire of endurance, we find our place. Side by side into turn 3. Drafting down the straight like we're born to be. F1 pace with an LMP soul. Pit stop dreams, flat out goals. Overtake clean or defend like hell. DRS wide and the gap won't dwell. Discord's lit but the track comes first. Champions are built where the tires burst. Throttle till you bottle, feel the G's rise. Tearing through the sim world under pixel skies. No reset button, just grit and gears. Through the heat and the heartbreak, the wins and the tears. Till you bottle, it's the racer's creed. Full send in the sim, full heart at speed. From rookies to vets, we ride the storm. In lobbies where legends are born. Camaraderie and chaos, rivals and mates, one shared love. Those checkered flag fades. Throttle till you bottle, ain't no turning back. Burn the line till the screen fades black. In this digital circus, we chase the flame. One wheel spin closer to fortune or fame.